insurance any longer. An agent offered us a 10-year, $500,000 policy for nearly $50 a month. Then we called SelectQuote. SelectQuote found us identical coverage for only $19 a month, a savings of $369 a year.
Whether you need a $500,000 policy or a $5 million policy, SelectQuote could save you more than 50% on term life insurance. For your free quote, call SelectQuote at 1-800-216-9922. That's 1-800-216-9922. Or go to SelectQuote.com. That's 1-800-216-9922. SelectQuote. We shop, you save. Full details on example policies at SelectQuote.com/commercials.
Seems like everything is going electric these days. Electric cars, electric trucks. But what you save on gas, you pay for with that electric bill. With all these things being plugged into your house, wouldn't it be nice to save up to 85% on your monthly electric bill? Well, you can do that with zero down and no payments for 12 months. Call Harmon Solar. Harmon Solar is a family-owned, woman-owned local company that uses top-of-the-line equipment. Call Harmon Solar, 800-281-3189. That's 800-281-3189. Or go to harmonsolar.com.
If you are an IT professional looking for an opportunity with great benefits, the freedom to creatively solve problems in a career with great growth potential and a team environment, look no further than Affinity Technology. Serving the Valley since 1992, Affinity Technology is looking for a level 1 tech to develop and deliver excellent solutions and outstanding customer service. Visit atechaz.com/jobs and get started with your future today. That's atechaz.com/jobs.
When it comes to covering the high school sports scene in Arizona, AZ Preps 365 has all the answers. Every Saturday morning from 8 until 10, they break down games, interview the newsmakers, talk with coaches from around the state, and stay up to date with what's happening with prep athletes and breaking news from the Arizona prep scene. It's AZ Preps 365, 8 till 10 Saturday mornings on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic, and always on at 1580thefanatic.com.
KQFN Tempe. Also transmitting on K25CD Phoenix at 99.3 FM. And K24EU Fountain Hills at 95.9 FM.
People settle down because it's time for
showtime.
When does it start?
Right now. 3, 2, 1.
Let's get on with the show. Let's do it.
All right, buddy, it's Monday here on the Daily Blender. I'm your good friend, your radio pal, Jeffrey O'Brien, alongside Randy White. Got Keon Rose in the control room, and you guys are on the Fanatic text line, 888-368-1580, as we broadcast live in the Harmon Solar Studios in Scottsdale. And not the way I thought I was going to start the show today, but the rules of sports and broadcasting dictate that I should. But before I break some breaking news, I'm not ready to break the breaking news yet. Before I do, though, Keon, my office door is open, and there's a lot of whiskey in there. There's an awful lot of whiskey in there.
I am aware.
Oh, no.
So I'm giving you permission, because you're going to want to celebrate, to go get a glass and to get a bottle and help yourself to some of my whiskey, because breaking news, ladies and gentlemen, breaking news on the Daily Blender.
This is breaking news.
Carson Wentz has been cut by the Washington Commandos.
Hey, there it is.
It is official. They sent him down the driveway. They cut him. They didn't trade him. They just cut his ass. And he is gone. Now he's in the free agency. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Nobody wants Carson Wentz. Nobody wants Carson Wentz. Am I wrong? Nobody. Not one single team. Not the Texans. Not anybody else is going to want Carson Wentz. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Someone will have screwed up their entire offseason if they have to go get Carson Wentz. And that means that they didn't draft anybody that they liked. They didn't sign anybody that they liked, or they didn't trade for anybody that they liked.
Wonder how he's going to look in Cardinal red.
Oh, my God.
Oh, no.
That'd be perfect. That'd be the perfect career arc for Carson Wentz, to be on all of our teams, making all of us miserable, at least one person at a time on the Daily Blender. So that's great news for you. Who's your quarterback again?
Right now, Sam Howell. He was a rookie last year, but
that's all you got.
They really like him.
Well, they've got Taylor Heineke, but he's a free agent.
Yeah, okay.
So
Oh, wow. Yeah. So
you're not starting Taylor Heine. It's just not
you
happening.
I thought you had some young up and comer. I
Uh,
thought there was
It
somebody.
was Sam Howell.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, you're host. Anyway,
I
so
liked it. I don't know.
I wanted to start the show with this. I don't know if you know this or not, but today is International Bear Day. International Polar Bear Day. Polar bear, the original cocaine bear, because they're white. That's all I got. And so I guess today is National Polar Bear Day.
Okay. All right.
Oh, by the way, have you seen the Cocaine Bear movie yet?
No, but how was the tour with your band, Cocaine Bear? How was that tour?
I don't remember any of it. It all went very quickly. That's all I know. But so now, if you like the Cocaine Bear, and by the way, that did way better in the box office than it ever should have. $23 million of people going to see Cocaine Bear. But now there's another movie coming out from the same people who gave you Snakes on a Train and the Sharknado movies. They're bringing you Attack of the Meth Gator.
I hope they're not going to run this idea into the ground where we just have various animals
It's
paired
already
with
been
various drugs. I don't know if I want to see any more of that.
And don't worry, nothing like this could happen in real life outside of Tucson, maybe. But there's no gators there, so I'm sure it's all good. But by the way, what would be so scary about an alligator with no teeth? I mean, I just, well, whatever the case, that's Meth Gator is coming to DVD or whatever the hell it goes to these days. And it's horrible. So that happened. But listen, we're going to talk about sports and stuff and what happened over the weekend. I'm sure by now at this time of day, nobody is tired of hearing about ASU beating Arizona with a 60-foot buzzer beater. I was on the road driving and my wife tells me about this. And I'm like, oh, that's amazing. And I was giddy. And then when I finally got in front of the computer and I saw the video, I continued to be giddy. I could watch that over and over again. And the best part is when they cut to the shot of the Arizona players like this. What happened? Oh my God. That was a great moment.
Yeah.
And listen, forget about the buzzer beater. The ASU Sun Devils played them pretty well in this game. You know, they had a lot of offense and, they earned that win. Of course, Arizona, it's a lucky shot. It's just stupid. Well, you shouldn't have let the Devils so close in the game. You win the game on the last shot, whether it's a free throw or a lucky thing. It's on you, Arizona, for letting the Sun Devils get back in it because they had them down for a bit and then they came storming back,
especially at home for them.
Oh, that was even better. I heard security had to escort the Sun Devils out of the building. It's the best thing I heard. Oh, it just made me happy. And so now, of course, my first thought was, I don't think this elevates ASU into the rankings, but I would imagine ASU has helped the Wild Kitties drop in the rankings. Please tell me I'm right.
Have dropped them a little bit, but also I think more importantly for ASU, it looked like they were going to have to win the Pac-12 tournament to get into the big dance. They may not have to do that. I mean,
because of this win,
and of course the Utah win before, where that was a very convincing victory. They've got some momentum built up here. Obviously, they have to handle business against USC, but they do that and maybe have a good showing in the tournament. You don't have to win the whole thing now. You can actually get in by, carrying this momentum forward with you.
Do you think that the people who make these decisions will look at ASU and be like, well, they were in the game, but they won it on a half-court shot? Will that matter? Will that deteriorate the chances, or is that just something they don't care about?
I don't think it's something that they care about because ASU, being the underdog in that game, played closely enough, as you said, to give themselves an opportunity to make that shot. That says more about ASU in that game. And obviously Arizona, who fell down one spot in the rankings.
And I loved what Tommy Lloyd said. He's like, hey, we were sitting on pocket aces. It happens sometimes. I love your pain. So, yeah, I mean, listen, the U of A is going to be like, oh, so what, you guys? We won the first one. You won the second one. But you're supposed to be the way better team. Yeah. You're supposed to have spanked us and sit us down the road 77-7. Oh, wait, that was our football team last year. Yeah. I'm just saying, this was so good for the Sun Devils and so bad for you, Arizona.
It
This
really-
is just a kick in the crotch to the you Arizonas.
It really is because, like Keon alluded to, I mean, we were in the McHale Center. We were down in Tucson in their home, hostile environment, and U of A couldn't put us away. The Sun Devils stayed close the whole time. Stayed close, kept
Love
battling.
it.
So-
Love it. Yeah, and now listen, I don't care what happens next. Whether ASU goes to the tournament or not. I mean, I'd like them to go there, but I'm not going to be upset. This game right here, that's enough for me this season. I'm just happy this happened. But I mean, I don't understand how that math works, though, Keon. That now ASU could just get into the tournament on just this alone. I mean,
It's
we got to
not
win
just-
a bunch more games, right?
Well, I mean, there's not a bunch more games left, but the fact of
Right.
the matter is the record is 20-9. So it's not a bad record. You're in a pretty decent spot, and they have had some quality wins this season. ASU. So it's not just this game, but lately it seemed like ASU was heading the wrong direction. And with that momentum going that way, it's obvious that I think a committee would look at them, look at the way that they lost some of these games, and maybe decide against them. But if you're capable of obviously beating you, Arizona, and hey, if you win a game or two in the conference tournament, now we're talking about, hey, there's a viable team that you could probably win, a round or two if you get hot. That's a compelling case to be in the NCAA tournament.
So, what is the ranking for you, Arizona, right now? Would you say they dropped to?
They just dropped one spot. They were at 7. They're at 8 now.
Oh, that's too bad. I was really hoping for more of a drop for them. I was hoping for the word plummet on this.
If this had happened earlier in the
Isn't there
season,
some way
there
they
might have
could
been a
dropped
plummet.
out of the top 25.
But
Yeah.
but this late in the year when we're
This was just like earlier in the season. You're saying it would have been
I mean, yeah, because that would be incredibly concerning. But at
That's a shame.
this stage, they're 24-5. They've been in the top 10 for the last God knows how many weeks. They're not going to plummet.
How many more games are left? Because I'm hoping that this depresses you, Arizona, and they go on a bender and then they lose all the rest of their games and find themselves in bad shape. Is that too much to ask for?
It's asking a lot. I believe there's 2 games left in the season, and then you've got the conference tournament afterwards.
All right. Well, keep hope alive. 888-368-1580. Heavy Metal Maniac says, welcome back, Jeffrey. Nice to see you found your way home. Appreciate that, Heavy Metal Maniacs. I hope you're well. He says, it was nice to hear you guys had turned the station back on today. It was off this weekend some. I'm sure you know this. Yeah, I'm sorry, buddy. Stuff happens, but we're getting ready to be great again. So I'm sure that I've heard Bruce Jacobs was probably talking about this on the morning show, but we were like this close to everything being really nice. So hang in there. Big George says, hello, gentlemen. Happy Monday. And oh my goodness, Jeffrey is back from his darkness sabbatical with Aaron Rodgers. How was it, Jeffrey? Did you eat dirt with Aaron Rodgers? If by dirt you mean mushrooms in Oregon. Lost Toby says, Jeffrey's back. There goes the show. Yeah, sorry to disappoint you. I knew somebody would be. Lung Butter says, next up on the movie list, Cracked Out Crocodile. That's actually a pretty good title for a movie right there. I think you've got a chance to make it big as a movie producer, Lung Butter. All right. So, by the way, something else happened this weekend. I don't know if it was great or it was just weird. I got other great things, but this is weird. I actually watched an entire soccer match.
Wow.
What?
Yeah.
Wow.
It now makes sense when you were talking about mushrooms in Oregon.
My sister put on a soccer match on the TV, but I had no control over this. So I just sat there and decided to do Mystery Science Theater 3000 on the soccer match, which she didn't appreciate. Her team is they were playing some team that started with an L, I guess, and then she got mad when I kept calling her team Arse Anal. And she's like, no, it's Arsenal. And it looks like Arse Anal to me. I mean, Mom, don't you see that? I just, it was just like when we were kids. She was very angry. Am I the first person to call him that? Because I feel like that's a missed opportunity.
I've never heard Arsenal called Arse Anal before.
I've never heard that either. And I'm surprised that some soccer hooligan has not put that together themselves.
I can't imagine they haven't, but now that you've heard it, you'll never unhear it when you see Arsenal mentioned. Ars anal. And that was just me messing with my sister. But I watched the entire match. And it's just like every soccer game ever. It was exciting, though, because there was a score. Tihua says, the three amigos together again. I could do that thing, but nobody'd see it. It's radio.
Yeah.
Thanks, Tihuas. Mr. Pringle says, all right, who plays the game first, Kevin Durant or Kyler Murray? Oh, I was going to ask you about that since I've been gone for a couple of weeks. If Kevin Durant's played yet, I guess the answer is no.
Well, the time that they keep talking about and the time that I thought he would be coming back against Oklahoma City. I mean, it makes sense, but they're talking about March 1st to be the time they get him on the floor. They don't want him to come back and get hurt. So.
Yeah, I mean, you're paying an awful lot for him. It's not like you'd want him to play, but okay.
And you traded an awful lot for him too.
Yeah. Of course, you guys probably talked about this. Mikal Bridges. Somebody asked him, "So, who is your favorite?" He's in a Brooklyn Nets jersey.
Yeah.
Hey, who was your favorite player growing up? And he's like, kind of grins. He's like, Kevin Durant. I don't know why that was funny to me. When are they saying he's going to play? When is he going to play?
March 1st, probably this week sometime.
All right. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to seeing, is everybody healthy after he comes back?
Well, Chris Paul is pretty healthy. Devin Booker has been pretty healthy. Campaign is still out. DeAndre Ayton is pretty healthy. So, yeah.
The primaries, though, should be good to go, right?
The starting five. And then there's been some question here over the last couple of games why TJ Warren's not playing. So, Coach Monty's going to have to answer that question because he says this team's got a rhythm going right now. And I'm like, if you got him, bring him in, let him play.
Thunder Snow says, Jeffrey, you're a genius. Ars Anal will be trending on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. I don't know how to make anything trend. So that's really up to you now, Thunder Snow. So speaking of health, I guess LeBron James is hurt again. He heard a pop and when he was playing the Mavericks, but so they're saying they're going to monitor the foot injury. And, well, he's old. What else do you want? I mean,
he's 38, man.
He might be okay. He might not be. But when you hear a pop as a 38-year-old, big deal.
Well, yeah.
I hear a pop or a crack at least 3 or 4 times a day.
Yeah, when I get out of bed in the morning, it's like a whole bunch of limbs just broke off the tree. That's what it sounds like. But
there was a storm and a bigger limb just took down a bunch of smaller limbs.
Crack, pop, bending, stretching, cracking. But LeBron has been. I think this is the ankle he's been kind of hampered with an injury all season long. I think he twisted it early on, and he's been kind of fighting through it and trying to play through it. And now it finally popped on him. So we'll have to wait and see.
So LeBron, whether he's in or out, I mean, he did go back in the game and played, but he finished still at 26 points, which is a horrible night for him lately, I guess. But then you look at these Lakers as they are, and I don't want them to be good. I hate for them to be good, but at least on paper, this team is, of course, we went through this when Russell Westbrook was there. Oh my God, on paper, these guys look really good. But they've won 4 out of their last 5 games. Yeah. Keon, talk me off the ledge of them looking good and tell me they're not looking good.
I don't know if I can do that.
I need you to lie to me.
Okay. They don't look good. What an awful fit all of these guys are.
Now I know you're lying to me.
I can't lie to you about it. They made some moves before the trade deadline.
Damn you,
that were actually smart and competent. Adding D'Angelo Russell to the team. It makes them.
Is he the biggest factor on their improvement, or
he's a big part of it because he's a point guard that actually wants to be a point guard, so that helps. And then you've got Malik Beasley, who's a really good 3-point shooter. He stretches the floor and he gets these guys a lot of space to operate. Now you have D'Angelo Russell handling the basketball. Where I know he's kind of dinged up right now, but like when he gets healthy, you have a guy who can be the point guard that doesn't have to be LeBron. And then Anthony Davis can actually have more room to operate down low because Beasley and Russell together shoot the ball very well.
All right, so they're improved, but can they whoop our asses? Can the Phoenix Suns handle the Lakers still?
I think so.
Yeah. I don't think this made them better than the Suns, but it did make them a playoff team
because they got D'Angelo Russell. We got Kevin Durant. So I'm just feeling pretty good about
Yeah.
the playoffs right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to get ahead of myself. I don't want to jinx anything, but yeah, okay. I don't mind if the Lakers get a little bit better as long as the Phoenix Suns can still whoop their asses. That's all I care about. And
Well,
after
this-
that, do better in the playoffs.
And the Suns, there has been some chatter. Keon and I were talking about last week that the Suns might be eyeballing Derrick Rose to come and add depth to this team.
Yeah, I heard about that. So, okay, he's as old as LeBron, isn't he? If not,
Well,
he's close.
He's not as old, but his knees are about twice as old.
Sure,
just
he's
with all
off
the
injured.
injuries.
Yeah, I remember making jokes about him back when I didn't know he was even still playing. And I would make jokes about him getting hurt. What team was he on before? I can't remember. What originally was it? The Warriors?
He was originally on the Bulls.
On the
The
Bulls.
Bulls, and then after that, he went to some team. It was some team that was relevant. I don't know.
He kind of bounced around. He came
Was he
back
on the
with
Raptors for a minute?
with the Knicks a couple of years ago, when the Knicks made their run, and it really looked like, Julius Randle turned the corner, and the Knicks were not a championship team, but they were a playoff team. They were a solid playoff team. And Derrick Rose had that one really healthy season with them. But ever since then, it's been, back to the injured D Rose.
Yeah, and so I guess one of those kinds of players where he can't hurt us really if he's injured as you expect him to be, as long as he plays sometimes. Is that what they're hoping for? I don't know.
Yeah,
I mean,
spot. He's jump in there on different occasions, go out and play the game and help the team out that way. But they're not considering him a starter by any means.
Yeah, of course. Mr. Wilbur says, welcome back, Jeffrey. I'm sure they'll be giving your last 2 weeks paychecks to both Keon and Randy for all their hard work. No. Lakers got Bill Russell, says Thunder Snow. I thought he was dead.
Hmm.
He
Well,
is
that
dead,
just-
right? Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
he's
they
dead.
just grounded
Yeah,
the show right to a
very
right to a halt
recently,
here.
actually, in the last
It's-
year. Why would
It's
you do that?
D'Angelo Russell, but
Not Bill. Mm-hmm.
he's on the Lakers, so he may as well be dead too.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh,
Hey, by the way, so Dame Lillard, of course, this was an amazing thing over the weekend. 71 points. 71 points for the Blazers beating they beat the Rockets, right? Or
Yeah.
you don't score seven. Well, you could score 71 and not win.
You could, but they beat him, and they beat him pretty bad.
Well, right after the game, they're like, "Hey, Dame, great game. Drug test time." I'm like, "What?" He said, "Are you serious?" He says, "I did the urine test yesterday. Then they backed up the blood drawn." He's like, "I don't even like I don't do tattoos. I'm scared of needles." And then when you're getting a blood draw, you're like, "Oh God." So he was not happy about that. Again, come on, NBA, at least wait a couple days. Don't be so damn obvious. Like right after the damn game.
Yeah, and I don't know what about his game led them to believe that steroids helped. He was shooting
71 points, Keon.
He was shooting the ball from everywhere. Steroids
Yeah.
don't help you be accurate from half court.
Cocaine does. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know.
I
don't know.
He just couldn't miss. That's not steroids cannot help you do that. They just
I
can't.
guess now with those 71 points, he's tied with Elgin Baylor and David Robinson for the 8th most points scored in an NBA game. Of course, Wilt Chamberlain owns it with 100 points back in 62.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that's just getting silly. Should I be upset with them for random testing, or should I be upset? Like, okay, well, it's obvious. Maybe you should. I mean, I don't know where to go with this.
I'm
I
only
feel
upset
like,
because it's not random.
yeah, well, no, we know that. That's obvious.
So that's my problem with it. Like, if these tests are going to be random, then let them actually be random. Let someone score 65 and then just leave them alone.
They're be like, "Oh, we can't. Here, fill the cup. All right, got to take a break. When we come back, more great stuff that happened over the weekend. That's right. Even more great stuff happened. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic.
This is Brent Musburger's Action Update on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic. The best way to start betting smarter is to sign up for a free VSiN subscription at vsin.com/subscribe.
The Knicks are a half game in front of Milwaukee for the best record in the NBA's Eastern Conference. They're laying 3 today at the Knicks. 223 the total at Madison Square Garden. The Knicks have won 5 straight. Philadelphia 76ers laying 6 at home against the Miami Heat. 216 the total at Wells Fargo Center. The Heat have dropped 4 straight. College basketball, it's Iowa State laying 4 at home with West Virginia. Baylor a 1.5 road favorite at Oklahoma State. The Cowboys have lost 4 straight. North Carolina, a 7-point road favorite at Florida State. The NHL, the Boston Bruins, another 35 road favorite at Edmonton, 6.5 over at Rogers Club. For more, go to vsin.com. Mike Sennett, 1580 99.3 The Fanatic.
And now another no-brainer money-saving tip from Progressive.
That doesn't sound good.
Paper shredder's jammed, but I think I fixed it.
Oh, well, try shredding these $50 bills then.
Looks like it's working.
Better try another $400.
Stop. Instead of using money, use regular paper. And here's a better tip from Progressive on how not to waste money. Don't pay too much for car insurance. Drivers who switch and save could save hundreds. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Potential savings will vary.
For the latest from the world of golf, tune in every Saturday morning from 6 to 8 for the Golf Shop Radio Show, presented by PlayGolfMyrtleBeach.com, the golf capital of the world. Hosts Mark Greenhelch and Matt Blanchard talk golf from tee to green and everything in between. If you like golf, you're going to love Golf Shop Radio. Before you tee up, drop on in. Welcome to the Golf Shop here on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
GCU men's basketball is back on the Fanatic. Listen along with Lopes insider Paul Coro and the voice of the Lopes, Michael Potter, for every moment of exciting Lopes action.
Wednesday night, the Lopes are on the road to take on the Thunderbirds of Southern Utah. Tip time at 7 p.m.
Listen all season long as the Lopes make their way through the WAC and try to punch their ticket into the madness of March. It's GCU Lopes basketball, only on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
Today in Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic. So more great things happened over the weekend that we have to address. And one of them was, at first glance, I thought, oh, this is going to be amazing. But it turned out to be pretty good. It's a good thing. It's a great thing, but it's only pretty good when you think about it.
All right.
Jake Paul, clown ass Jake Paul lost his boxing match to Tommy Fury, who is Tyson Fury's brother, who doesn't look anything like him.
Well, he's a half brother.
Yeah, that makes sense. He's also half the guy's size. And he beat Jake Paul in this boxing match.
Yeah.
But unfortunately left Jake Paul some excuse material because it was just split decision. Yeah, we won by split decision. I wanted a damn knockout.
Which is stupid. The third judge is blind as hell. Just looking at it, he threw two times as many punches. He landed 2 times as many punches. He threw 2 times as many power punches and landed 2 times as many power punches.
So it's rigged.
In what world is it split? I mean, that's just dumb. I mean, like, I can't understand that.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Fury had 302 punches, 88 landed. Paul threw 157, landed 49. They both had a couple of good shots here and there, but really, this should have just easily been called for Tommy Fury. So somebody was on the take, and that gives Jake Paul his excuse material. But it turns out so far his excuses haven't been, oh, I was robbed. His excuses were, well, I was kind of hurt during camp and I was sick for a while. I think I had mono. So he's like, yeah, we're going to have a rematch. That's right. This is going to be a huge rematch. Mm-hmm.
Right. I think
Well,
I don't know. I think most of the people got what they wanted. They wanted to see Jake Paul lose. He's lost now. No one's going to tune in to see him lose again. He's not the showman that Floyd Mayweather is, where people just show up to see this guy lose all the time. He thinks he is, but he's not.
Well, here's the other thing. I don't think that Tyson Fury's little brother should be crowing about this. You didn't knock him out. You needed to knock his clown ass out, and you didn't. So Tommy Fury is like, look at me. I've made my legacy. I am Tommy Fury. No, making your legacy, maybe if you knocked him out. I get it. He's 9-0 as a fighter, but he's not like, is he even ranked? I don't think he's even ranked.
This is the first actual boxer he's ever fought.
And he's not even an actual boxer.
And Tommy Fury himself is, Not anybody. Neither of
So-
them are anybody, really.
So I just need somebody to knock him out, please. That's all I need is just knock out Jake Paul, please. And so I guess they'll have their rematch. I don't know who's going to watch it. I think people have got to be pretty sick of Jake Paul by now, right? Or it's just that whole hope that maybe he gets his bell rung.
I mean, maybe that's what it is, but it's possible that people just seeing him lose might take that as enough, and that there's no more, money to be made from the spectacle of Jake Paul as a boxer. I personally don't see it. I didn't watch this fight either. Just went back and watched him get beat up in the highlights. He's not interesting, and the fight isn't good. I don't know who any of this is for.
But
But
he's got a bazillion followers on whatever tube.
and so like maybe he can find a way to try and talk people into watching another thing. But I think once you lose, unless you're Conor McGregor and you have the ability to just get people reinvested in you again, I don't see anybody.
Yeah, look, the bottom line is eventually this whole dog and pony show is going to run out. I mean, eventually people, and it may have already happened, people may be tired of Jake Paul running his mouth right now. I think we're not the only people in the country, in the world, to note that Jake Paul is not fighting anybody of any substance. So, yeah, unless he brings somebody into the ring that's an actual boxer that has done something, you know what I mean? That is a current guy that just can whip his ass.
Yep.
Then maybe you'll start to see some sort of activity. But I think this is just about going to run its course right here.
Jake Paul was asking for Canelo Alvarez. Now that I would tune in to see, because he might actually
He'll be brief.
He might get killed in there. I mean,
It'll be quick.
Jake Paul is asking for Canelo Alvarez.
Canelo's not going to do it because it's just such a waste of time for him. But yeah, I mean,
oh man.
I just think that even Jake Paul has to realize the only money he has left to make is getting knocked out. That's the only money you have left to make. If he wants to go start fights with, well, now I'm going to fight Todd Bridges from Different Strokes. Nobody is going to care. He's got to fight somebody that could actually knock him out, and then that'll be done, and then he'll be done, and he'll go back to, I don't know, farting through a tuba. I don't know what he ever did on YouTube to become popular, but he needs to probably go back to doing that. So I won't pay for it, but I'll watch the hell out of it on YouTube when he gets his ass knocked out, and I'm hoping for it as soon as possible. Another cool thing that happened over the weekend, a rare goal scored by a goalie. The Boston Bruins beat Vancouver 3-1, but the best part was when Linus Ullmark, the goaltender, and there was a bunch of guys out there on the ice. I don't know why they were empty net, but the goalie got it and just kind of, he didn't even look like he was really trying that hard. He just kind of hit it. They just sailed down the ice and went right into the empty goal.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
Well, it was probably a close game, and the other team, Vancouver, was probably pulled the goaltender to add a sixth skater on the ice.
It was 2-1 at that
and
moment.
they were trying to tie the game up, and they were trying to, but that happens a lot in the NHL. I've seen that before.
No.
This pretty cool the way these guys
this
whistle
doesn't
one
happen a
down.
lot.
No, it's happened before. I've seen it before.
13 times in NHL history. Only 13 times, and he's the first Bruins goaltender to ever do it. So if you've seen it more than once or twice, you're a lucky man to see it.
It's only been like once, but I've seen it before. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
I wasn't as giddy as watching ASU beat Arizona, but I was giggling. I did watch that a couple more times to be like, how did nobody see that coming down the ice? So 888-368-1580. Did I read this one already? Boomer Sooner says, good day, Jeffrey. Welcome back. Randy, beer me, please.
No.
Okay. Well, now I have. Cardinal Art says, hey guys, great show. Keon is Carson has Wentz's career over, he's asking if Carson Wentz's career is over. He says, asking for a friend.
I mean, probably not.
Yes, it is.
I mean, as a starter, he's probably not going to be a starter ever again. But I mean, is his career over? No. If Carson Wentz is willing to be a backup somewhere, he'll be in the NFL.
I wonder how he's going to look in Cardinal red.
I don't think he's going to do it. I don't know anybody's going to want him. He's just like done.
Well, because teams get desperate. I mean, that's just how that goes.
Watch.
That's
the
how
Commandos
Washington
sign him back.
That's how Washington ended up with it. Was they called everybody in the league. I mean, they tried to trade for Russell Wilson before the Cardinals gave Kyler Murray the contract. They called about Kyler. They picked up the phone and called. They were desperate, and they were telling everyone they were desperate, and that's how they wound up with Carson in the first place.
I'm not sure, but that might not be the best strategy for a good negotiation.
I don't think so either. But what do you do?
Cardinal Art says, Randy, may I please have a stiff one of your finest whiskey? Sorry, I just need to make sure I read that part.
All right.
Glad to hear you're back on the airwaves, Jeffco. Thank you, Cardinal Art. Appreciate that. Average Joe says, goalies getting goals in the NHL is very rare. I play goalie, and because your hands are backwards when you hold the stick, it is very difficult.
Yeah, it is very difficult shot. It's kind
I'll
of
be
fun
honest,
to watch, though.
I think he was just trying to clear the puck. I don't think he was legitimately shooting on the goal. You know what I'm saying? I think even he was just like, what?
Could be.
Thunder Snow says, Jake Paul is now talking about joining his brother in WWE. Wait a second. His brother is a wrestler?
Yeah,
fake wrestling?
His brother had a couple of appearances in the WWE, and they liked him. So he's there now.
Yeah, let him go.
I don't watch the wrestling. If he wants to go there, that's perfect for him. Just leave my sport alone. I like boxing. It's great.
I hope somebody picks up the not fake chair and hits him on the head with it. Let's see. Mr. Pringle says Cardinals would be wise to sign Carson Wentz. I think that's sarcasm.
Yeah.
I don't think you should believe him.
See, if Steve Keim was still in office, you would already see him. He'd already have a parking spot at the Cardinals training facility. What?
You are correct.
Carson Wentz is a free agent? Hell yeah. I'm in on that one.
He's a perfect backup for Kyler Murray. He's nothing like him, but he's perfect.
Yeah.
Mr. Pink Eye says, hey, fellas, who's the new guy? When does KD play? I've been told by these guys, sometime this week, maybe. Let me know when it's official because I'll watch. Woo says, hi, guys. Glad everybody's back. Was Jeffrey on vacation? I've been here the entire time, Woos. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, what do you mean?
Says Keon and Randy held down the fort very well. And that's another problem, Woos. We don't have a fort. We wanted to build a fort, but then Ron got mad and we took the cushions off his couch. He says it can't be any couch cushion forts at the radio station. So thank you for poking at a very sore spot for me, Woos.
It's pretty sad.
Average Joe says, oh, by the way, glad you're back, Jeffrey. Everyone was calling for a certain drink while you were out. I'm sure they were. Cardinal Art says, if reports are true, Keon, do you think the Commandos should trade for Justin Fields?
Yes.
Yes.
The only reason why I don't think about it that often is because I don't think the Bears are going to do it. But the Bears are willing to do it. Yes.
So there's a lot going on with the Commandos, and I've got some other sort of breaking news here for you on that. But the Bears are trying to get the most they can get to trade for that number one pick. And to do that, they're talking to other quarterbacks. They're going to be in the draft. So, of course, they're going to be talking with other teams about, hey, we'll give you this if you give us that sort of thing. But I think it's just a ploy to drive the price higher. I mean, they haven't had a franchise quarterback for quite some time, and I kind of feel like they should stick with Justin Fields. I think he's growing into that role already. And if you're, if you trade away Justin Fields to the Commandos, what are you getting? Are you getting a decent first round pick at all? I mean, really? And it doesn't make sense.
I mean, well,
it doesn't make
obviously,
sense for them to make that trade.
If you traded that to the Commandos, you'd be getting, if you go Justin Fields, you'd probably be getting their first round this year and their first round next year, and then maybe this year second and next year second too. So you'd be getting a bunch of picks. So the question is, which is getting you more? Is Justin Fields getting you more picks back, or is the number one pick getting you more picks back?
And the other part of that is, okay, Justin Fields has had the training. He got injured, but he's been looking good if you can keep him upright. Is there somebody better in this year's draft, Keon? Is there somebody they'd be like, okay, the hell with Justin Fields, take this guy?
I mean, if you're giving up Justin Fields, it's to take Bryce Young or CJ Stroud. It's one of those guys.
Are they worth it? Are they worth that trade-off? The guy who's already had some on-the-job training and is ready to start next year?
I think Bryce personally, I'm just a big fan of that guy. I just think his football awareness is incredibly high. I think with Justin, you're still having to do a whole lot more polish because he came from a simpler offense in Ohio State. You can see last year he's starting to get it, but I think with Bryce, there is a chance you could have an offense that is damn near flawless if you give him the weapons. But I think with Justin, there maybe feels like there might be a little bit more risk there.
I just can't believe that the Bears would do that, though. I can't believe that they would start all over again. You've got Justin Fields there. The guy's young. The guy is mobile. Again, coaches have got to coach to his strengths. They've got to build the offense around his strengths. That's what's going to make
with
this,
all those picks, they can.
Well, it just doesn't seem that I can't believe that they would get rid of him. That seems to me to be a. I mean,
Okay.
all right, if you want to get more picks, trade the number 1 overall pick.
Or how about this? Keep your number 1 overall pick, Bears, and trade with the Colts. We'll take Justin Fields. You can have our pick. I'll take Justin Fields.
I mean,
I don't know that he's going to be better than what the way Keon described it, but I'd be happy to have Justin Fields. I'd be happy to have Brock Purdy. I'd be happy to have quite a few people, but there's always that unknown, and you're like, wow, you're looking at that first, second, third pick, and you're like, ooh, there you go, franchise quarterback. And that's not always a sure deal.
No.
Justin Fields is close. Who knows? You might get this guy that Bryce Young, and all of a sudden you're like.
And look, there are concerns about Bryce. Like Bryce is small, and I don't necessarily mean in the height sense. I mean his frame is smaller. So can he take some of those shots? Justin got hurt behind that offensive line, and Justin's a bigger, sturdier human being. Bryce Young might actually break in half. Like that's an actual concern you should think about if you're going to move on from Justin Fields. Is the guy that you bring in
right
is still going to be
get
behind
a good
a team
O-line
that needs to be developed.
Yeah, you got to get a good O-line to keep both these guys upright. So, either way, you better be ready for that. All right, so we got to take a break. Before we do, just here's the headline. We'll talk about this when we come back. Poor Keon's Washington Commandos, trying to find a quarterback, now trying to find an owner, and lots of talk about Dan Snyder screwing with Bezos, trying to drive the price up. Now here's the latest rumor that just came out down the wire. He'd be interested in buying the Seahawks. Jeff Bezos may be saying, fine, I don't need your team. I'll go buy the Seahawks. So we'll talk about that when we come back. Rich people fighting's fun. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic.
Let's be real. Mopping is a hassle. You have to fill the bucket, pushing a wet, heavy mop around, then cleaning the mop when you're done so it doesn't grow bacteria. A hassle on top of a hassle. Try Swiffer Wet Jet. With Swiffer Wet Jet, you start with a fresh pad and cleaning solution every time. And when you're done, you just toss the pad. Swiffer Wet Jet, the faster, easier, cleaner way to clean your floors.
If you are an IT professional looking for an opportunity with great benefits, the freedom to creatively solve problems in a career with great growth potential and a team environment, look no further than Affinity Technology. Serving the Valley since 1992, Affinity Technology is looking for a level 1 tech to develop and deliver excellent solutions and outstanding customer service. Visit atechaz.com/jobs and get started with your future today. That's atechaz.com/jobs.
Your home has gone way up in value, but have you taken advantage of it? This is Rob Canier with a phenomenal opportunity to tap into some of your home equity, earning tax-free income and eliminating your mortgage payment while staying in your home as long as you want. With home prices leveling off, don't wait to learn more about the new reverse mortgage. This is a safe and proven money-saving and tax-free income opportunity for homeowners age 62 and older. Call me, Reverse Rob, and learn more today at 602-REVERSE. That's 602-738-3773, or download my app by searching Retire Right with Reverse Rob.
Well, Mrs. Grayer, nothing on the x-ray that pinpoints the source of the pain. Let's send you to our lumbar expert.
After reviewing the x-rays, I can't see anything wrong. Let's give you a steroid shot for the pain and send you to the lab for some blood work.
Tired of the runaround? How about trying a new approach? The holistic approach.
At the Naturopathic Physicians Group in Scottsdale, our medical doctors are experts in full spectrum care using a natural approach. Patients come in for a variety of issues, including joint pain, chronic conditions, and issues specific to men's and women's health. Our naturopathic doctors can restore pain-free joint function and restore balance in immune, digestive, and hormone systems, which often improves both immediate physical symptoms and also improves cognition and emotional stability. If traditional medicines aren't working, don't you think it's time to start feeling like yourself again? Call Naturopathic Physicians Group at 480-451-6161. That's 480-451-6161. Or go to naturopathicgroup.com.
80% of youth in Arizona don't drink, smoke, or use drugs. Want to know the reason why? It's you. Kids say not disappointing their parents is one of the main reasons they choose not to drink or use drugs. Visit talknowaz.com. Because while you might worry you aren't getting through, you are. Keep it up and stay up to date about the latest Arizona drug trends at talknowaz.com. This message is sponsored by the Substance Abuse Coalition Leaders of Arizona.
So, what's your favorite thing about sports? The excitement, the action, or the 5-meat pizza and the 6-pack? Bingo. That's what we thought. 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic, and always on at 1580thefanatic.com.
David Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic. Here are some of the things that are happening this week on the big radio station. Tomorrow night, you are in the semifinals for high school basketball, getting ready to find out who's going to win state. But Tuesday, it's Gilbert at Dobson girls for the 6A semifinals. And then on Wednesday, got Boulder Creek at Brophy Prep boys for the 6A semifinals. But that's going to air over on Money Radio 1510 and 105.3 FM at 7 o'clock. Wednesday, we got GCU at Southern Utah. That'll be interesting because they're in Southern Utah. You know, a lot goes on there where the players will be like, hi, waving in the stands. Hi, Dad. Hi, Mom. 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 Hi, Mom.
Yeah. I see.
Their arms will get tired.
I see.
Waving at all the moms.
And they'll go hoarse.
Yeah.
Saying so much. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
On Thursday, for college basketball fun, Michigan is at Illinois at 5 p.m. That's right. It's just the beginning stages of us getting, a little extra time off because of NCAA basketball.
Been a while since we've been off.
Yeah, I know. I'm exhausted. And then Friday, GCU heads up to Utah Tech. And then Saturday, all day long, it's the AIA basketball championships. I think it's open 6A, 5A, 4A. I think that's how this works. Or the girls are in there somewhere. I don't know. Till they tell me something, I don't know. And then Sunday, we got more college basketball, the Big South Championship and the Pac-12 Women's Championship, because we're, contractually obligated here on 1580 The Fanatic.
Welcome back, Jeff. Go.
Well, it's just true. Thunder Snow says LDS humor, solid gold. Now, here's the thing about the LDS humor. All the Mormons I know and have known and grew up with, they're cool with it. As long as I'm not saying something evil, they're good with it. So that's why when I refer to the Utah Jazz as the Mormons, we've had zero complaints. I mean, nobody on the team is probably Mormon, but everybody watching. 888-368-1580. CK says, good afternoon, fellas. Randy, Piermy, Jeffrey, welcome back from yet another vacation. Carson Wentz is going to look great in Cardinal Red. What about, really? We're going there? What does Dusty Rose think about Logan Paul in the good old wrestling?
Listen, Dusty Rose, the American Dream. I don't think that Logan Paul or Logan Rome or anybody else named Logan should belong in the wrestling. I mean, this is the American tradition. You don't put some guy in there with a name Logan and let him go to town. And listen, if I was still in the ring, which I'm not, But there's reasons. But listen,
yeah.
Daddy,
dead,
if I was still
but
there,
okay.
I mean, I would do the helicopter and I would show him why he should not be in the ring. I would say after I helicopter him and then do the booty slam. I was famous for the booty slam, where I jump in the air and I slam my booty right down on the middle of him, break him in two, and then I would say, "Look, Logan, take your name and your ass and get out of this ring." That's what Dusty Rhodes would do.
All right. Thank you, long dead Dusty Rhodes. 888-368-1580. So let's get back to old Baldy Bezos wanting to buy a team. He's offered $6 some odd billion to Dan Snyder. Dan Snyder says, no, I want 7. And Bezos is like, yeah, well, we checked the comps and 6 is realistic and you need to do this. And Snyder's like, I don't want to. And I understand, if you want 7 billion and somebody offers 6, you don't got to take it. But is Bezos right, or is Snyder right? Should Snyder just take the 6, or is Bezos wrong for not upping the bid? To what Snyder wants.
Listen, if I might speak for my friend Keon, Dan Snyder is never right about anything.
It's a good point.
Nothing.
Thank you.
Good point.
And Jeff Bezos is not going to bid against himself. He has seen what everybody else has put in. The highest bid that was seen was 5.5 billion. So he's going 6. He's not going to go higher than 6 or 6.5 until someone else outbids that. That's just.
So he said, call me if you don't get a better bid. And then that's it. Well, now having just released this, and maybe this is just a way of trying to get Dan Snyder scared or whatever, like, oh crap, now all I have is 5.5 billion. They're saying that Bezos would be as interested, if not more so, in buying the Seahawks than the Commanders. I didn't know that the Seahawks were for sale. Did you know that?
When you're Jeff Bezos, the world is your oyster, Jeffrey.
I don't like oysters. You got to give me a different.
When you're Jeff Bezos, the world is your cucumber.
That just sounds dirty. That just sounds
when
really
you're
dirty.
Jeff Bezos, Jeffco, the world is your
hairpiece.
Hairpiece.
Yeah, but he didn't.
No, it didn't work.
He doesn't. Really
When you're Jeff Bezos, Jeffrey,
the world is your penis rocket.
No,
I mean he
Well,
does,
have a
one
penis.
of those.
No, it's a rocket ship. It's not a penis.
But it's shaped like one.
It's a penis rocket.
It's a good point.
One. Yeah.
But I mean, up in the
Captain
head,
Kirk went up on a penis rocket. No
So
wonder
we're
he
all
came
the-
back down all disappointed.
But no, the Seahawks are not for sale currently. But there is talks that the family could sell the team.
Hey, watch Bezos go. Hey, Snyder, watch this. I'll give you $7 billion for the Seahawks. Snyder's like,
I mean, I don't know what Daniel Snyder thought was going to happen. You change the branding of the team. You have a team that you haven't had any success with in 25 years. The fan base is maybe, and I'm being generous, a third of what it used to be. You're not giving anybody anything to buy. So if someone shows up and says, hey, I'm not going to give you everything you asked for, but I'll give you 6 billion instead of 7 billion, knowing that the league is actually holding the Mary Jo White report over your head as a reason to just, get you to sell this team. Sell it, or we are going to release this report. I don't understand what leverage he thinks he has.
I have a question. Let's say they release that report today. What happens then? Do you think that the team is suddenly worth less? You know what I'm saying?
Okay, so I mean, in a rare instance,
Max Headroom has entered the chat.
In a rare instance, am I still Max Headroom? Hello,
a little bit.
Hello. It sounds clear here. Anyway, maybe it's you guys. What was I saying? Oh, what about the NFL owners could just flat vote him out?
That'd be a very aggressive move, and a lot of owners would be very resistant to do that. Why? Because they are always resistant for stuff like that, because they always think, what if that happened to me? The owners have always protected each other. I mean, you got Irsay talking crap about Snyder, but you got Jerry Jones, so he's back. A lot of these guys are not likely to vote out an owner. It'd have to be something that is beyond. And while you and I feel like what's happened with Snyder has been beyond, these owners be going, I've done some of that stuff myself. No, he's fine. He can stay. So I mean, you want him to sell and get the hell out. You don't want it to ever come to that.
Yeah, and that's the reason why that report has been sort of the thing that maybe if we put this thing out, it's not that the team will be worth less, but that there may be even less people backing you after this. Whatever investors stuck around, they're going to probably bail on you. You're going to make this harder on yourself than it needs to be. If you just sell it, take the $6 billion and leave, this is so much easier.
Boogie says Jeff Bezos should buy the Texans. Are they for sale?
They're not.
Why do you want him to buy the Texans, Boogie? Where does Jeff Bezos live?
Jeffrey, when you're Jeff Bezos, the world is your home.
Snow globe.
Yeah.
How about that?
Okay.
888-368-1580. And another dirtbag owner doing something. I guess Lazary has agreed to sell his stake in the Bucks to dirtbag Haslam's for $3.5 billion. Doesn't that give them controlling stake in that? Is that?
I believe it does.
I don't know how much the Bucks really cost. They've just recently won a championship. Oh God, it hurts right here because you know who they beat to do that.
Yes, I know.
So dirtbag Haslam's are about to own the Milwaukee Bucks, or at least control them. Yeah. Again, I don't know if that does give them controlling, but I think it does. Anyway, so hooray! How much are the Bucks worth, anyways? If you were going to buy the Bucks outright, it's got to be more than $3.5 billion, right?
Well, the Suns just sold for $4 billion, right? So I think they would value the Bucks probably at $6 billion.
So
don't you think?
If you bought out the controllers at $3.5 billion, there might be another $500 million or $1 billion lying around out there outstanding, I guess. I guess I probably should have read about this. I just saw the headline and thought, great. The dirtbag Haslam's who own the Browns, who made that contract with dirtbag Deshaun Watson in a very dirtbag way, now going to Milwaukee and becoming business partners with Aaron Rodgers. By the way, Aaron Rodgers, he owns 1% of the team. And if the entire team is worth $3.5 billion and the Haslams own that, well, that means that his stake would be worth 35 or so million bucks right there. So I don't know how much he bought his stake for, his 1%, but now he'd be in business with the dirtbag Haslams. Fantastic.
Yeah, though that for once it wouldn't be his fault.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Maybe he had some sort of revelation when he was in his darkroom retreat.
If the Haslams bought anything I was involved with, I'd immediately sell it. Okay, I'm out. Bye. Boogie says Bozos lives in Seattle, but I want to see an in-state rivalry between Bozo and Jerry Jones to see who chokes away the season more. I don't think there's any rivalry between Bezos and Jerry Jones.
Why is Boogie?
He just wants to hate on Texas football, I think.
I think that's what it is, because I think Jeff Bezos is going to be very hands off. I don't think he's going to be, in the rooms making decisions like Jerry does.
You don't know. Maybe Bezos will be like, I own it. So everybody in this room shuts up but me. We're doing this.
Could be. Just he doesn't seem to run any of his other businesses that way. So it'd be
Did you
odd.
see how much fun he had sitting there with Roger Goodell on Amazon's Thursday Night
He did
Football?
look like he was having fun. Roger also looked like he was dying, but Jeff looked like he was having fun.
Yeah, talk about stuck somewhere. Man, I've never felt sorry for Roger Goodell except for that moment where his face was just like, okay, if I ate through the person in front of me, I could maybe get away. Or if I jump off the railing, I might survive. I might not, but it's better than sitting here and listen to this guy. I mean, so many things were going through poor Roger Goodell's head at that moment. Maybe it's just punishment. Maybe it is just punishment for his indiscretions. If there is a karma, if there is a God, if there is a whatever, right there at that moment, Roger Goodell was in his own personal hell.
Could be.
How about that for an escape room? People would escape at record time. You're like, here's the escape room. Jeff Bezos is sitting there. How you doing?
Your body would just be moving on autopilot. You wouldn't even be thinking about the puzzles.
That's where the Kool-Aid Man challenge would come in right there. People just running through walls to get out of that damn room.
Oh, no.
Hey, when we come back, Randy, let's talk a little bit about spring training. Spring training in action and some of the new rules, some of the stuff in effect to see how you're feeling about it. A lot of people have a lot to say. Let's come back and say it. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
Susan, it's so great to finally be able to get together again.
Oh, it sure is. And I really appreciate you picking up the bill.
I'm happy to. I've got the extra cash. Since we've all been driving so much more again, I've been using Upside, the free app that pays you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get paid cash when you buy gas with the Upside app?
Yes, I get real cash back just for buying the gas I was going to buy anyway.
But is it a hassle to use?
No, it's super fast and easy, and I can cash out whenever I want.
That's a total no-brainer. I'm downloading the free Upside app now.
Download the free Upside app now to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code HEAT for an extra 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's promo code HEAT. You can cash out anytime right to your bank account, to PayPal, or an e-gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code HEAT for a 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code HEAT.
Hey y'all, this is your girl Cheryl Underwood, and I want to tell you something. My digestive system used to make me feel sluggish, but those days are over. Now I feel great. That's because I increased my fiber intake with the Metamucil 2-week challenge, and I'm still hooked. I just took Metamucil every day for 14 days, and it's really that easy. Metamucil traps and removes the waste that weighs you down, so you feel lighter and more energetic. Now I never want to go back to that heavy feeling. Are you ready for the Metamucil 2-week challenge? For a coupon and daily support, sign up at Metamucil.com today.
When a cold comes on strong, knock it out with Vicks DayQuil Severe for max strength daytime relief. Just one dose of Vicks DayQuil Severe starts to relieve 9 of your worst cold and flu symptoms to help take you from 9 to none. Power through your day with Vicks DayQuil Severe, the daytime non-drowsy, coughing, aching, fever, sore throat, 9 to none medicine. Use as directed.
At Total Wine and More, save big on what you love this month with hundreds of deals. Get up to 35% off over 100 different wines and spirits, including Cabernet, sparkling wine, single barrel bourbon, and so much more. These savings are huge, and even better, they're on top of prices that are already the lowest in town. Deals this good don't last long, so visit Total Wine and More to find yours. Love what you find at the lowest price, only at Total Wine and More. Drink responsibly, B21.
80% of youth in Arizona don't drink, smoke, or use drugs. Want to know the reason why? It's you. Kids say not disappointing their parents is one of the main reasons they choose not to drink or use drugs. Visit talknowaz.com because while you might worry you aren't getting through, you are. Keep it up and stay up to date about the latest Arizona drug trends at talknowaz.com. This message is sponsored by the Substance Abuse Coalition Leaders of Arizona.
Live from the Harmon Solar Studios in Scottsdale.
This is KQFN Tempe.
Also transmitting on K25CD Phoenix at 99.3 FM.
And K240U Fountain Hills at 95.9 FM.
All right, people, settle down because it's time.
Time for what?
Showtime.
When does it start?
Right now. 3, 2, 1.
Let's get on with the show. Let's do it.
All right, everybody, it's 4 o'clock here on the Daily Blender. I'm your good friend, your radio pal, Jeffrey O'Brien, alongside Randy White. Got Keon Rose in the control room, and you guys are on the Fanatic text line, 888-368-1580, as we broadcast live in the Harmon Solar Studios in Scottsdale. And spring training has sprung, Randy. I know it's on time, but it seems oddly early. Is it always this early? I feel like
no, March.
a lot is just happening so fast.
Late February, early March always signals the beginning of baseball spring training, and then late March, early April is when the games are starting to be played for real.
And also, is it my imagination, or is that combine start tomorrow? Is that actually tomorrow?
The NFL Combine starts tomorrow. Yeah.
Oh my God. Everything's just at one moment it's the Super Bowl, and then the next thing it's the combine. I just feel like you'd think there would have been a couple of weeks in between or something.
Well, coming up here in April is the NFL draft. So you got that coming up.
I'm very excited for that.
I bet.
I'm very excited for that.
Yeah.
I hope I get to be excited for that. If the Bears screw around and mess it up, then I won't be as excited. But goddamn you Bears, don't do it. Don't do it. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about spring training.
Yes.
And now there's already been a game decided by the new clock rule. And so here's what it was: this tie game, 9th inning, bases loaded, full count. Game ended on a clock violation by the hitter.
Yeah, well, you get in the box before the clock says 8 seconds.
So that right there is, it's a rule, but it's also one of those things I'm sure people are losing their minds over.
Yeah, I mean, I can't see it deciding a game. I hate to see that happen. And again, these are just spring training games. But when it starts happening for real, I mean, these guys better be on the ball because they're not playing around. They are going to shorten these games. By God, if it takes them whatever it takes them to do, they're going to shorten these games. And that's an absolute must. Where's my bourbon? That's exactly what I heard coming out of old Drunky Drunk's office. Yeah.
Where's my bourbon?
Yeah. Where's my bourbon?
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
It's actual quote right there.
Oh, by the way,
yeah,
I don't know if you know this or not, but they check the numbers, and hard liquor has outsold beer for the first time.
Huh. There's a reason for that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's been some things like COVID and politics. And
yes.
The world seems to be coming to an end on a weekly basis.
Yes.
But I guess it has us reaching for the hard stuff more. Liquor sales, for the first time ever, have passed beer sales. 42.1% of all alcohol sales in the U.S. last year, according to that new report, just enough to beat beer at 41.9. And it's just liquor has been gaining and gaining. One of the reasons for it, though, don't get all crazy, isn't it a bunch of us men drinking stuff, cocktails, the mixed drinks, the frou drinks.
Could be.
That's helping because it got more popular. And then those stupid pre-mixed cocktails shouldn't count in the liquor department. But,
I agree.
Yeah. And anything flavored whiskey should never have been considered.
No.
Never. But Jack Daniel's sales on that jumped 10.5%, Irish whiskey 7%, Scotch about 4%. So good choice, America. Good choice. See you at the meeting. 888-368-1580. Scratchman because says liquor sales have outsold beer sales thanks to the Irish, right, Jeffrey? Well, yeah, presumably. Yeah, I agree with that. Donnie says, proud to contribute to that 42% with my bourbon intake.
Absolutely.
Well done, Donnie. And by the way, you're a wuss. He's on there on the Twitter. I'm just tired of this cold weather. Dude, you're from Minnesota and you're calling this cold weather? I was out there scooping up leaves out of my pool in my shorts this morning, like at sunrise. If I can do that, it's not cold weather, and you need to STFU because in 2 weeks it's going to be 135 degrees, Donnie.
Yeah.
Heavy Metal Maniac says, hey, Randy, can I get a double shot of Crown Royal on the rocks? I've had so many issues working at the ballpark in Mesa, trying to sell stuff, and technology issues constantly is preventing me from doing that. And,
I bet.
I've left work early 2 games in a row because of technology, and those are just the first 2 games of the season in spring training.
Yeah,
but they got something
man.
new for your pay, your swipe and stuff, or what? Sorry to hear that, Heavy Metal Maniac. The Berg says Carson Wentz to the Colts. You shut your damn mouth. You shut your damn mouth, Berg.
He's already been there, done that, man. He won't be going back.
Jim Irsay will literally stop Carson from getting in the building himself.
Yeah.
Clothesline him right there.
Yeah.
He'll never get to the door. So, Randy, so what are the some of your first thoughts? Because, of course, the pitch clock is not the only new thing. So you've seen a couple of games, I'm sure, of preseason action. All these pace of play things and new rules. How are they doing? How are you feeling about it?
Well, I already know that so far the games are shortened by a little bit, but here's what I was telling Ralph on Friday about this. We were talking about a little bit. I hate it because now you miss out on the art of baseball. You miss out on the art of the pitcher and batter having this little cat and mouse game going back and forth, because a lot of times guys will do that. A batter will step in, the pitcher will step off, and he'll make the batter reset, and he'll want a new set of signs, or the pitcher will be on the mound early and the batter will take his sweet time getting in there, try to get in the pitcher's head. no more. I mean, baseball, Rob Manfred and baseball have successfully destroyed that part of the game. Also, the shift. These guys were having the shift on there. I personally don't like the shift. I think it takes away from the offensive part of the game. I think it opens up the field again. But as Ralph and I were talking about, and I'm telling you the same thing, the shift, the only problem there is these guys forgot about the basics of hitting. Hit it where there's no player. Don't go up there and try to He-Man the thing. Hit it through the shift is what they call it. Go up there and hit it in the gap or in the field that they're giving you. Learn how to hit away. I don't know. Some of the greatest hitters of all time used to do that. Joe DiMaggio, Stan Musial, Rod Carew, Tony Gwynn. Some of these guys could hit the ball, could put it anywhere they want to. And now these guys are just behemoths that go up there and just either try to hit a home run or try to hit it through the shift. So I like the fact they're not doing the shift. I think it's going to add more offense to the game. And yes, I still hate the ghost runner in second. I hate it.
Of course, I think everybody hates that. But you're going to see teams start to train up and coach up their players to do exactly the things that you now need to do. You're talking about as far as hitting goes. They got to teach them how to hit right. And, they got lazy looking for the boomers. Now they got to start training people up on how to play stuff, and people who are coming up. They've got to be seeing this in the high school and the collegiate level where they're going to be like, all right, here's the new thing that you're going to need to know how to do before you get to Major League Baseball.
Yeah. And the baseball teams will still do this. They'll still shift their field around. They'll stay. Okay. Your infield will play a little more right. As long as you have a player on the right side of second base and a player on the left side of second base, two players on both sides of the infield, that's fine, but they can still move around and kind of favor whichever side that this guy hits the ball to all the time. And the outfield, they can shift the outfield around. They can move that around. These guys are smart. They'll figure out different variations on how to get the batter out. So
yeah, this is the way it always works with a real change. First, you complain about it. Next, you forget about it. Then next, it happens. Everybody's like, "Oh my God, did you hear what happened?" And then after that, you adjust to it. And right now, in spring training, everybody heard about what happened to Cal Conley, and so now everybody's going to be preventing that. So you're going to see this happen very seldom throughout the season, I think.
Day one of spring training, Manny Machado was the first guy to get hit with a strike. He took too long to get in. I think he was just checking to see if everybody's going to actually follow through on this, and he didn't get in there, so it was strike one on you. What's next? You're going to have like two fouls and you're out? What are we going to do next, Manfred? What are we going to do next? Two fouls? You're going to start with a strike on all the batters? Two foul balls and you're automatically out. What are we going to do next? Go to slow pitch softball rules, Manfred? You idiot.
It just seems like Rob Manfred doesn't actually like baseball.
He's trying to get it over with.
Yeah, he's trying to change baseball to be anything but baseball, which good luck with that, I guess.
All right, so understand something. The older generation that watches baseball, like Randy says, enjoys the storyline and the cat and mouse, as you just put it. But here's the way I think maybe to take a look at this. It's about painting a picture, and the older generation would sit there and watch Bob Ross. Bless your world. We're just gonna put a happy little tree right there. Don't worry about mistakes, because you turn it into a cabin. It'll be fine. Everything's fine. And they could just sit there and watch this frizzy afroed white man just paint paintings for an entire hour. And it was spectacular. The younger generation's like, I don't need to see how you paint it. Show me the damn picture. And that's what it is. Manfred doesn't like your baseball, Randy. He's trying to create a baseball that can continue and capture the attention of the younger crowd. And that's why pace of play has to pick up. I can sit there with you on a Saturday afternoon, drink a beer, and watch all the pageantry all day long, and I'll enjoy it. But this younger microwave attention span generation, they're not. And those are the next people who are going to be watching baseball, and they've got to capture them as soon as possible.
I hear what you're saying, but for me, what I'm worried about and what I think I see happening is a version of baseball that is not enough like baseball for the people who really love it, but it's still too much baseball for the people who don't actually like baseball. So you kind of end up in the middle place where you don't please either side of this, because we are talking about a generation that doesn't sit through entire basketball games. If basketball is too slow, you'll never make baseball fast enough. Like, I just don't know if going the other direction really helps you that much.
Like I said, it's like a beer league softball league. The guys get up there, they have a 1 ball, 1 strike count. If you hit more than 2 foul balls, you're out. Moving on to the next batter. I mean, that's the way we're headed with this great game. And if people can sit and watch, I've heard reports that soccer worldwide is the #1 sport. If people can love soccer, are you kidding me about the whole baseball game? Are you really kidding me? Every soccer game is 3 hours plus. Okay. 45 minutes, and then you have overtime.
It's just an hour and a half, really. It's an hour and a half.
Well, you're right.
But it feels like 6 hours.
It feels like 12 and a half hours if you ask me. Back and
9
forth,
days
run
later.
and run. I'm just saying the bottom line is you cannot change the grand old game of baseball to suit your needs. You can't do that.
Yeah, you can, and you end up flushing all the original fans down the toilet. But that generation will pass, and you got to deal with what's the next generation, and that's what he's doing. That's what he's doing. It's a bad middle ground right now, like Keon has just said. Is that transition period is making nobody happy. But watch Manfred continue to go towards making the younger people happy. He don't care. If you fade away, Randy, because he's expecting that you're going to do that anyway. And it's a very cold-hearted thing to hear and say, but it's what you have to do to survive since baseball has lost the attention. And Keon, you ain't got a damn thing to say at your age. You ain't young. You ain't young. I might be older, but you ain't young.
I understand that, but this panic,
you are in the middle.
I am in the middle, and I get that. But I'm saying this panic of the young people won't watch baseball. I remember being in high school the first time I heard that. And I love baseball. So I just think I think part of it is the delivery. I grew up with, computers. So, for me it was, how do I get baseball on my computer? Now you have kids that are growing up with phones as the way. I think a lot of this
is the exception to the younger rule, though. A lot of the younger people are not fans of baseball just because of how the pace of play is it. You are an exception to the rule as a sports lover from the very beginning. So I don't know that you really qualify as the typical sports watcher of your age or younger.
I'm just saying that the panic around it has been around since at least I was a kid. So even though I'm no longer the person that anybody's worried about, that's still that kind of space where people thought that my generation wasn't going to watch. And I think that you have to find a way to get the content to the new generation, but I don't think you have to change the game, because I don't know if you'll ever change it enough to make it to where they'll enjoy it without making it not baseball anymore.
But now you know what Manfred is trying to do. Not saying he'll succeed, but you can see the direction it's starting to go.
Well, in my opinion, he's trying to ruin the game, because the next thing that's on the table right now that's being discussed and may take place as early as next season, they might start testing this in minor leagues. They want to move the pitcher's mound back. They're trying to make more offense and make a game that's a slow chess game into a high-paced video game is what they're trying to do.
You're right. Hefty Lefty says no team would dare play the shift against Pablo Sanchez. Also says, take me out to the ball game. It's going to sound really weird with the new rules. For it's 1, 2 strikes, you're out at the old ball game.
Well,
that's right.
That's the other thing. They'll just get rid of that. No more 7th inning stretch. It's a regular inning. Let's go.
Yeah, no time for stretching.
No time for tradition. No time for popcorn and peanuts and Cracker Jacks. Nope. Got no time for that. Let's go.
I think the Big Lead website was trying to be funny when they put out 5 more ways to speed up the game. One of them was everybody gets dressed at home. You got to show up at the park in uniform, ready to go. And you don't need to warm up because you get out of your car, a low jog to the field.
Yeah,
you're ready to go. Start playing the game.
Yeah.
And they're like, by the way, let's shorten up the written consent thing for Major League Baseball. Any rebroadcast, retransmission of this account. No, make it shorter. Immediate written consent of Major League Baseball. Boom, done. Yep. And they also want to ban instant replay.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Ban it all. It takes too damn long. We don't want to watch the game. We want to get our ass set down for about a minute, and then we want to get up and leave.
Prison Wallet says, Randy, I don't like soccer either, but I definitely don't like baseball. The big difference is, though, soccer is constant action. Baseball is a bunch of standing around. Well, Prison Wallet, that constant action is just guys running around and very little scoring. I am a expert at watching soccer because I watched one whole match this week, and I don't think I need to see any more. Because I'll be telling you what, it wasn't long before I was sitting there and my sister is watching this damn game, and I'm just like, I started hearing names. I'm like, well, that Jackery guy, he's not doing very well. he keeps screwing up for everybody. And I was like, God, no, I've learned a name. I don't want to know this. Anyway,
but you'll lose it in like 2 weeks.
Prison Wallet, I admire your and I respect your opinion. But if you knew the game the way I knew the game, then I think you'd be more interested. It's just like, again, it's like instead of playing chess, they want to play a video game, and nobody wants to play the game of chess. My stepson is playing a lot of chess. He's learning all the moves. It looks like a lot of people just standing there staring at the pawns and the knights and the queens and all that, and strategy, making their next move. What if we did the same thing with chess that we're doing with baseball?
Scrabble didn't start with a hourglass. Somebody got tired of waiting for somebody else to take a turn. You're like, all right, that's it.
Well, in chess, they have a clock. You have 5 minutes or something like that to make your move. But I just, let's take away the whole pawns, because what the hell do? They don't do anything. You sacrifice them all. Let's start the chess game with, just everything else. The rooks and the knights and the kings and the queens, and get rid of the pawns, because we don't need them. We don't need that anymore.
I think Fighting Wampa might have text of the day. It says soccer is like a Comic-Con event. It's those conventions, the Comic-Con. He says a lot of people running around and nobody's scoring. And that's text of the day. So, Keon, what do you dress up when you go to Comic-Con? What do you dress as?
What I dress as? I've actually never been to one of those conventions because they cost lots of money.
Oh,
I haven't been able to go. So
I just completely picture you going to one of those.
So yeah, I did go to an Atlanta convention, but I didn't dress up as anything.
What would you dress up as?
Oh man, what would I dress up as? I don't know. Green Lantern is my favorite superhero. I'd probably go that direction. Figure out how to make that
Lantern.
Work. Yeah.
Is that like a kerosene lantern, or how is that? I don't even know.
You've never heard of the Green Lantern?
I've heard of it. I've never seen any of it.
Well, avoid the movie. Just go ahead and do that. But yeah, no, he's got a ring. He's got powers from the ring that he's got, and
never regretted a question more.
He's a space cop, and he fights.
He's a space cop.
Aliens.
Okay. Oh, there you go, space cop. All right, I just started with that. We got some more comments on soccer and baseball, and we'll get to those when we come back. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic.
There's no doubt that Harman Solar can save you up to 85% on your monthly electric bill. That's a fact. Bruce Jacobs here. But did you know it's possible to get solar for $0 down and no payments for 12 months? You can lease, finance, or even purchase outright. They have plans that fit everybody. Harman Solar is a family-owned, woman-owned local company that uses top-of-the-line equipment. Call Harman Solar at 800-281-3189. That's 800-281-3189, or go to harmansolar.com.
Hey, y'all, this is your girl, Cheryl Underwood, and I want to tell you something. My digestive system used to make me feel sluggish, but those days are over. Now I feel great. That's because I increased my fiber intake with the Metamucil 2-week challenge, and I'm still hooked. I just took Metamucil every day for 14 days, and it's really that easy. Metamucil traps and removes the waste that weighs you down, so you feel lighter and more energetic. Now I never want to go back to that heavy feeling. Are you ready for the Metamucil 2-week challenge? For a coupon and daily support, sign up at Metamucil.com today.
GCU men's basketball is back on The Fanatic. Listen along with Lopes insider Paul Coro and the voice of the Lopes, Michael Potter, for every moment of exciting Lopes action.
Friday night, GCU is still in Utah to take on Utah Tech, live from St. George. The tip time is 7 p.m.
Listen all season long as the Lopes make their way through the WAC and try to punch their ticket into the madness of March. It's GCU Lopes basketball, only on 1580 and 99.3. The Fanatic.
Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic, trying to talk about some spring training baseball stuff. And of course, some of the new rules in effect, the pitch clock. And has anybody seen this Ghost Runner thing happen yet? Has anybody seen this?
It's happened last season. I saw a couple of games that were extra innings where you just all of a sudden you go out there and suddenly there's a guy on second. And I take a double take at the TV like, how the hell that guy get out? Oh, that's right. That's the Manfred stupid rule.
Can I just say, if you're going to have a Ghost Runner, they should be forced to put a sheet over their head with little holes cut out.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Of course, that might not play well in the South. Yeah, I forget I mentioned that. That was a hugely bad idea.
Yeah.
I mean, people in the South might actually like it too much. So, probably just don't do the Ghost. We could just, but we'll move on. 888-368-1580. Wow. Oh, a bunch of texts here just plopped here on the text line. Let's go through them. Thunder Snow says, Jeffrey's on fire today. Welcome back. I've never been on fire in my life. Trying to think if there's a time maybe I've caught part of me on fire. I don't think I've had a shirt on fire. Have you guys ever been on fire?
Yeah, I had my thumb one time. I was refilling a lighter and I, with the butane stuff and I flicked the lighter and it lit and my thumb was actually on fire.
Keon, you ever been on fire?
No, I have not been on fire.
Your hair, your giant long hair hasn't accidentally dipped into the flame of a candle or something?
No, thankfully. I can say no, though most of my life I've actually had short hair. So
yeah,
this is a more recent development.
It doesn't count when the grill gets your arm hair. I don't think that counts as on fire. That's just being singed a little bit. So I've never been on fire.
See, I had a buddy that he used to drive a propane tank and smoke cigars at the same time. So he would get singed all the time.
I'm surprised he didn't get blown the hell up.
He said several times he was flashed every day.
Gee whiz. Mr. Wilbur says, the only way I will support the Ghost Runner at second base is if the team that is pitching gets to pick any uniform player or manager to be the Ghost Runner. And thus that would make it even more interesting.
It's not interesting at all.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Wilbur. That's what a Arizona education gets you, I guess.
But I mean, thanks for trying. I mean, I appreciate what you're doing. Yeah.
President Wallet says, Randy, I don't like soccer either, but I definitely don't like baseball. I think I read that already.
Yeah.
Bruno Baller says, I'm sure those vendors that are selling beverages and snacks around the stadium like those long baseball games.
Yeah, not anymore. They're going to have to get rid of those. If you want something, just go to the damn thing yourself. We got no time for this.
I would imagine Heavy Metal Maniac probably is not thrilled with the whole pace of play.
I get you.
Let's see here. Quiet Cannon says, more offense and scoring makes baseball more exciting. When you shorten the time of baseball games, you're going to shorten and reduce the scoring. So what do you want to do? You want more exciting baseball or you want faster baseball?
No, we've got to make sure and make everything accustomed to whatever the latest trends are among the young people of this country, because God knows they're the ones that are paying the bills when they go to the ball games.
I don't know if we have a sounder for it, but I think that was the smartest text of the day. Quiet Cannon, that was very well said. I think we want exciting baseball, not faster baseball. But a lot of the times when you speed things up, you have the perception of it being more exciting.
But it's almost like a fake excitement, you know.
I said perception.
And I'm totally agreeing with you, because football games are 3 hours long. No one complains that the NFL has a game or a product that takes too long. But the games are exciting for the most part. If it's not Thursday Night Football, the games are exciting. And so like that's what it is. I think Major League Baseball has to figure out how to portray baseball in a way that's more exciting without changing baseball, which I think you can do.
Hefty Lefty says true baseball fans and soccer fans are the same. If you know the game and understand it, that's when it becomes beautiful.
Exactly. Teach the game. Don't change the game. Teach the game.
There was nothing beautiful about what I watched. Having forced to watch that soccer game the other day, I did not see beauty there. I just saw a bunch of guys running around like, oh, there it goes. Oh, now it's over there. Oh, now it's over there. Now it's over there. You know how you watch hockey and you're like, wow, 29 shots on goal. And that dude had a lot of saves. Oh my God, that was great. And then you watch soccer and it shows shots on goal. 1. The entire game. 1 shot on goal, and on the other team, 0. So they ran around and kicked so much, but never tried to kick it in the other guy's goal.
You know, I'm
not making that up.
Here's my thing to change soccer. Let's shorten the fields, both width and length, and let's cut the
indoor soccer
amount of people on the field. Cut that in half, and then at the end of every half, have a shootout
with guns or paintball guns, or
it doesn't matter. It just line up a bunch of guys and have them
live ammo.
Yeah, live ammo. There you go.
It's just soccer.
Suddenly the game is going to be great, right?
I like your thinking. Heavy Metal Maniac likes my thinking. He says Jeffrey for baseball commissioner. I could do it. I mean, I do a lot now. I'd have to try to find a way to work it into my already busy schedule.
Very busy man right now.
But I mean, obviously, it's just a matter of going to happy hour, right? Because that's what Rob Manfred does all the damn time. He just goes to happy hour.
Gets all these epiphanies. Yeah.
Keon, spell epiphany.
EPIPHANY.
You are correct. All right, Randy. Now spell duodenum.
Oh, God.
No.
Keon wins the spelling bee for the day. Well, it would figure at a time where we're getting tons and tons of texts on the subject that the text line is bogging down on me. Here it comes. Heavy Metal Maniac said more to say. He says, I know you won't change the game because there's nothing worth changing. It's fine the way it is.
Thank you.
It is a good point. It is and has been fine the way it is. But that's us saying that. The younger people aren't seeing it with the same eyeballs. So you do have to adjust, adapt, or die. And that is what baseball is going to have to do. And there's going to have to be a time period where they piss everybody off to do it. I'm not saying Manfred's doing it right, but that is why these things are happening. That's all I'm saying. But if I am elected to serve as the baseball commissioner, I might do it. Cardinal Art says, I love some baseball, but this new system sucks. Please pour me a stiff one, Randy.
I think that they're catering to the younger generation all wrong. Most of the younger generation is consuming sports through like Instagram and Snapchat. If that's how they're watching it, then the problem isn't that there's a 20-second pitch clock or that there wasn't one. The problem is they're not watching the games. They want the little highlights and snippets. So how do you get them that? How do you get them the basics of the game in a form they're actually consuming it already? I don't think you're making baseball fun.
If
I have an idea. Oh, I got an idea.
Good.
So here's what you do to help the transition time. Okay, go ahead, do what you need to do, speed up the game, but take the nets down. Because then all these idiots that are sitting there in the park on their cell phones start getting smashed in the face. The older generation's like, well, at least I have something to watch for. How many of them sons of bitches get taken out today? Woo! I think that's a good compromise, don't you?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Morticia's man says, not a big fan of baseball, but they should bring back the Sosa and McGuire days. Lots of steroids, lots of homers.
Well, the league did look the other way at that time. and then got all mad about it later. So,
Well, don't worry. I mean, that's the way it's heading. At some point, you'll have instead of a pitcher's mound that's 60 feet, 6 inches away from home plate, it'll be, 75 or 80 feet away from home plate. And everybody will be up there smashing home runs. And then guess what? Nobody will watch the game.
Hamilton Porter, he sent in a meme, which you know how I love when people do that.
Yeah.
But it's actually a meme of a tweet from Game Day Major League Baseball. Just a reminder that it's quicker to let the pitcher pitch than rather than to call the pitch clock infraction on the pitcher, assess a strike or a ball, reset, and then do it all over again.
Yes.
Point taken, Hamilton Porter. Blissful Hayes says, does the Blender have a new co-host today? Hilarious, Blissful Hayes. Let's see. Thunder Snow says, if Major League Baseball wants to make things more exciting, make steroids legal. There's going to be a lot of people saying that, I think.
Yeah.
Lots of votes for steroids.
Yeah.
Scratch Me Because says, if you think soccer's boring, try watching cricket. No, thank you. But you know what's interesting? They have not changed the rules in cricket forever. Have they ever? Have the rules on that changed?
Sort of. They have shortened the game so that they're not like 4-day long marathons. So you can play a game of cricket in an afternoon, but the fundamental rules of cricket are still very much there. Yeah.
CK says, let them juice. Let them juice. You mean like and make smoothies? What do you like just
more roids.
Have orange just juicers in the dugout? I mean, fresh juice? What the hell is he talking about?
Would be nice, but no.
Steroids.
More roids.
Oh, CK, I've never done steroids. I didn't know that they were called juice. Let's see. Boogie says college football needs to knock game times to 3 hours. Those 4-hour games are ridiculous.
And yet, it's never been more popular.
Curious ASU fan says the Women's World Cup is coming up in a few months. If you want to see beauty, you will tune in every single game and watch every single minute, especially when some of the female soccer players remove their jerseys after they score a goal. Yeah, but guess what, curious ASU fan? Most of those girls aren't interested in you. Random texter says, you guys think the level of excitement of each game in Major League Baseball is because of the length of the schedule? Games mean less because there's 162 of them. Shorten the season, maybe it makes games matter more.
Yeah, I mean, there is a point to that, but I think that baseball is
Randy, why are you avoiding that? I saw you move away from the microphone.
Why was it lengthened to 162 games?
Now, how many do you think it should be?
I don't have a number because it's been the same since I was born 61 years ago. So
162 games.
I don't see how that's going to make the game any more appealing to people that just
seriously. It's been 162 games for 83 years.
Yes,
since you've been born, right?
Yeah.
All right, sorry, Keon, go ahead.
Well, I was just saying that like the thing with baseball is those games. There's a lot of them, but you earn those postseason spots through those games. The playoffs in baseball really matter because we don't have any questions about who deserves to be in the postseason most years. You had 162 games to make your case, and the playoffs roll around. You can rock and roll. I wouldn't shorten it.
I think Prison Wallet's gotten into the liquor cabinet. He says, Randy's yelling about changing somebody else's sport when he's mad that people want to change his sport. Ah, Jesus, what the F? And then he says, but I do agree with everything he said.
And I don't even think Randy was being serious. He was making a point that if you just go arbitrarily changing the rules of a sport to make it faster or quicker for the people who don't care about it, you have a game that's not the game you started with. You just have a different game now.
Harry Soap has a brilliant idea.
Okay.
Harry Soap says, why not have a pitch count in the Major League Baseball stadium bathrooms? You know, I hate the long lines. Stopwatch might take care of that one. I'm not going to disagree with you. Action Jackson says, there's a reason soccer is the most popular sport in the world. Has nothing to do with what we're talking about, but God bless you and thank you for coming. He says, soccer is a perfect way. Is perfect the way that it is now. Please don't ruin soccer like baseball.
Well, it's not. Rob Manfred, is Rob Manfred running the English Premier League?
Fortunately, Rob Manfred's not in charge of the soccer federation.
Well, yeah, so I think I think you'll be okay.
Yeah.
Can I be honest? I mean, there is no reason to change soccer. Mostly because I'll never watch. Boomer Sooner says, Jeffrey, you've done your job. I got anxious during the last 2 weeks while you were away. I didn't quite get the shakes, but glad you're back. Man, that's a very strange connection there.
Mm-hmm.
Boomer Sooner is addicted to me. Tide Stick says, almost off work, boys. Pour me a double, please. Get that man a drink. Hamilton Porter says, if someone charges the mound, how does that affect the pitch clock?
Oh, no, I'm sorry. There's no more mound charging. Nope, can't do that.
Then that is a perfectly fair question, though. Somebody gets hit, they charge the mound, and the pitch clock gets violated. So, you know what? That is also a way to penalize a mound charge.
The pitch count doesn't start until the pitcher has the ball in his hand, thrown back from the catcher.
Sometimes the pitcher does have the ball thrown back from the catcher, before the guy decides. Remember, they'll stand there and they'll look at him for a second. Pitcher gets the ball back and he's like, no, and he charges the mound. You've seen those delayed charges before, so it could be a violation of the pitch count.
Yeah, I don't see how, but I don't know how they would enforce that. But who knows? Drunky Drunk will come up with something, I'm sure.
It will be exciting to see there, Hamilton Porter. He also says soccer sucks because how do you get excited about a game that ends 0-0 and say, wow, that was a good game? I agree, man. I agree. But you know what? Soccer lovers will tell us we're wrong, and that's fine. That is within their rights. They've convinced themselves that was exciting, and who am I to ruin that for them? Fighting Wampa says, so if I was in high school right about now, I would definitely go try out for the baseball team. Go up to the coach and tell him, I'm here for the ghost runner position. See how that works out. As long as you're fast, I'm sure that, I think the ghost runner has to be a guy who's actually playing in the game, right? Or can it be just anybody?
No, it doesn't have to be somebody playing in the game. No,
it's like pinch hitter, pitch runner. Blissful Hayes says it's 162 games because of the money generated by Major League Baseball. Yeah, I know, but has it been 162 games since rocks were soft and Randy was watching as a child?
Yeah,
right.
It has.
Berg says baseball will be fine, as will football and hockey and basketball. Question will be if the softball balls will get bigger. Why are those getting bigger? They're huge already, man. Average Joe says it expanded 162 games to against each opponent equal as the league expanded. Wait, let me read that again. It expanded to 162 games to keep games against each opponent equal as the league expanded. So they do it where you have to play the same amount of games as everybody in your division, or explain that. Seems.
Yeah, I don't know how to explain
silly.
it because the amount of games played didn't expand when Tampa Bay and Arizona came on as expansion teams. So I don't know. I don't know. I mean, they could have done that if they brought in a bunch of teams at one time. I don't know.
Flash Gordon says the chess game is now one-dimensional and not three-dimensional.
I understand that. Nah, I don't either.
He says baseball has lost its way. The rich teams are way outspending the rest, and nobody's stealing 100 bases in the shift, and they're only swinging for home runs and all that stuff.
Well, now that we've got the pizza box bases, that old drunky drunk thinks that's going to incite more base stealing. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the steals have gone up, but the
problem is you cannot have everything on your poll question to random people. You can't have everything. You have to be selective. But Rob Manfred doesn't understand that. He thinks that you got to have bigger bases because that'll make them
you can take a nap on one of those. It's like a sleep number base.
We need to go ahead and hit more home runs because there's not enough home runs hit, and we need to have more offense and more base runners. But we got to hit more home runs, and we've got to do it in less than an hour and 45 minutes.
Look,
that's what we got to do.
The game is an untimed game. It does not have a clock. If you want the game to go by faster, but you also want more points,
take drugs.
You are doing two things that are actually the opposite of each other, because the more people score, the longer the game takes. The strikes make the game go faster. So I don't understand what the plan is here. Like, I really don't get it. It's just a very stupid plan.
The brake system that we have here for the radio show is in place to keep our pace of play. And yeah, well, it ain't working. We got to take a break. When we come back, more of your texts. People have a lot to say about the baseball and now the soccer. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic.
O'Reilly. Don't risk getting stranded with a bad battery. Let the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts test your battery for free. If it needs to be replaced, get up to a $15 O'Reilly gift card after rebate with purchase of select Superstart batteries. For power, performance, and reliability, choose Superstart batteries at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts. Hey, y'all, this is your girl, Cheryl Underwood, and I want to tell you something. My digestive system used to make me feel sluggish, but those days are over. Now I feel great. That's because I increased my fiber intake with the Metamucil 2-week challenge, and I'm still hooked. I just took Metamucil every day for 14 days, and it's really that easy. Metamucil traps and removes the waste that weighs you down, so you feel lighter and more energetic. Now I never want to go back to that heavy feeling. Are you ready for the Metamucil 2-week challenge? For a coupon and daily support, sign up at Metamucil.com today.
If you're rolling over your 401k to an IRA soon, but not sure if you want to go all in on this crazy market, here's what many retiring professionals are doing. How about a safe and secure IRA offering a contractually guaranteed 10% income bonus that grows 7% annually guaranteed? Your income can double in 10 years. Meanwhile, neither your principal nor your retirement income is ever subjected to a market downturn. Even if the market crashes by 50%, you get the 10% bonus. Your income income keeps growing at 7%, and your principal may grow without losses uncapped. You go up with the index, never down, forward, never back. Get a 10% income bonus with a 7% contractually guaranteed growth rate. I compare over 1,200 annuities with a fiduciary duty and can help you retire and stay retired.
Guarantees rely on the financial strength of the insurer, so compare with leading annuity authority Steve Jurich now. Visit IQannuity.com, IQannuity.com, IQannuity.com.
What is my portfolio worth? How much money will I need to retire? Are my investments working? Am I properly diversified?
Hi, I'm Mo Ansari, president of Compact Asset Management and host of Market Wrap. If these questions are keeping you up at night, maybe it's time to get some answers. Give me a call at 1-800-388-9700 and let's set aside some time to review your portfolio so you can get an accurate picture of your investments. I will meet with you personally and introduce you to the entire team here at Compact Asset Management. Together, we'll develop an understanding of your current financial position and create a plan to help you reach your financial goals using our holistic approach to wealth management. Call now for your free portfolio review, 1-800-388-9700. That's 1-800-388-9700.
Compact Asset Management is a registered investment advisor. Funds custodian, Fidelity Institutional Wealth Services, member FINRA SIPC.
1580, The Fanatic.
Stanley Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic. Randy, I got a little disappointed in something I read.
Uh-oh.
I should just not read any news during the breaks.
Okay. What's happened?
You remember that song by Joe Walsh? Life's Been Good to Me.
Yes. Yeah.
He's like, he sings, "My Maserati does 185. I lost my license. Now I don't drive." Remember
Yes.
that
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, now it turns out that was all just a big fat lie. Major
You never
problems.
had a Maserati?
Well, two problems. First, no Maserati was hitting 185 in 1978. Top speed was actually 133 and a half miles an hour. Second, when the song came out, he didn't have one. He never had one. And then I think he lied later about the other part of it. He said, he bought one in a little bit later on in a 1964 5000 GT Maserati. And he says, everybody's making me feel bad because I didn't actually have a Maserati. Everybody looks sad. So he says, I don't know if it does 185. I chickened out at 140. Well, that's a lie, too, because the top speed's 133 and a half. I should not read news while we're on break.
I guarantee you that's it's not a way to keep yourself encouraged. Don't read the damn news.
We're never playing that song again. I can't have it.
All right.
A lie is a lie is a lie.
All right. We'll take it right out of rotation, Jeff. Go.
Thank you. All right, let's get back to this very, very busy text line. All I want to do is just sort of take a short moment and talk about spring training. And everybody's losing their mind about the baseball.
Yeah.
And then some people are chipping in on soccer. I don't know why. But let's go ahead and read these texts, and then we can maybe get on to American football. Mr. Pringle says, Diamondback games are exciting. Did the Padres quit scoring runs on them yet?
Mm-hmm.
You're a bad person, Pringle.
I don't know, but that was pretty tough. I was watching some of that yesterday.
Hamilton Porter says soccer sucks because I read that, but you're right. Prison Wallet says no self-respecting sport should ever end in a tie.
Yep, I agree. Yep.
But we've had NFL games do it, and
at least two of our teams have tied last year.
Hi.
Tijuas
says Viva football, Viva football, and Viva the baseball. All right.
Yeah, very
Viva
good.
Tijuas.
Good for you.
Average Joe says, ugh, here. After the first expansion, each team had 9 rivals rather than 7, and the 154-game season made for bad math. MLB's official historian, John Thorne, explained to play 22 games against each rival would require a 198-game season. So Major League Baseball settled on an 18-game per rival for 9 rivals at a total of 162 games. Who the hell cares? Why can't you just add a couple more teams? And so why you don't play everybody in football? You don't play some of the same teams for 4 years. That was dumb on baseball's part, I think. So I wonder what the sweet spot of game number would be for baseball. I mean, Randy says it's always been 162, so as far as he could remember. But what would be the right number of baseball games?
I don't know, because if you don't do that, then what are you going to do when there's nothing happening? You have nothing going on, no sport whatsoever. Baseball is the greatest summertime sport ever.
Well, to you, but not to a whole lot of.
Well, I mean,
people.
I don't care what everybody else says. You think about it. If you have an 80-game season for baseball, what are you going to do the rest of the summer? You got absolutely nothing.
Well, that's an old head exclamation right there.
What do you mean, old head exclamation? Look at it. When does football start? September. If you have an 80-game season,
basketball is all summer long.
No, it's done in March. You have an
Go
80
swimming, goddammit. Get in the pool.
I got your
you
old
don't have
head
to
right
the
here.
TV should turn it off.
I don't even need it for all of that. I've just watched seasons, Major League Baseball seasons, where a team has looked like they've been out of the race. And then in the second half of the season, they figure it out and they put it together. So to me, I don't want to see less games because that can't happen in that season. I think baseball is a sport that needs a big sample size because there's a lot of randomness in the game. That gives you the sample size.
But I will play the devil's advocate. If you did shorten the season, you'd probably still have baseball all summer long. You know, I don't think anybody's saying let's shorten it 80 games. I think, what if you went back to 154? What if you went to 150? You'd still have baseball all summer long. The Pinisher says, I like big bases and I cannot lie. Why?
Is it more enjoyable to you, or
what was the thought process in the bigger base again?
To cut down on injuries, guys running into the baseman when they're running across the base or running to the base, and also to incite more base stealing. If you have a bigger base, then you have more square footage to grab onto
without getting tagged.
Getting tagged, yeah.
Which is kind of like a
Potentially.
byproduct of the analytics, where some manager with the calculator is standing in the dugout and the cost benefit analysis of trying to steal second, it doesn't really add up. So you just don't do it.
I feel like Rob Manfred answered a question that nobody was asking
on
the bait. Maybe he's sitting up there and he's like, I can't, where's the base? I can't see the base. God, they should be bigger. And I think that's what it is.
Yeah, probably. Or he was sitting at his favorite watering hole and he was looking at his cocktail napkin. He's, you know what? I think baseball should look like this.
It's big bases. Tiger Paws says, Jeffrey, I don't think you ever read my text to Randy over an hour ago. Oh, geez, sorry about that. No, there's just a lot of stuff all over the text line. My bad. But Tiger Paws says, Randy, for the goalie who got a goal, she thinks you probably saw the one where Mike Smith got one for the Coyotes once.
Yes.
When was that? When was that, Tiger Paws? And sorry, I didn't see your text right away.
Years ago. Yeah.
The way the text line sometimes populates stuff, things move around, and I apologize. Kraken Jack says baseball expanded to 162 games in 1961.
I was born in 1962.
And then what happened next? They killed Kennedy. Get the games back to 154. That's where everything went wrong.
I don't think your average fan is going to be like, 154 over 162. The games feel like they matter so much more now. The things that people like about baseball, if someone doesn't like baseball because they think the season is long, you would have to drastically cut the season to make that person happy. I'm not interested in making the people happy who don't like baseball. Like, those people do not matter to me. I'm interested in trying to figure out the people who might be interested, how we get those people invested. Like, that's what you're supposed to be doing. How do you get the game in front of kids? Figure that part out. Don't worry about making somebody happy that doesn't care. They don't care. Says,
if you don't like baseball, he'll fight you in the parking lot after school.
Well, it's not even all that. I mean, I'm hearing all the soccer fans, and the soccer fans are like, don't change our game. Why? Because they shouldn't be interested in the people who don't like soccer and making those people happy. And I think that this is where Rob Manfred is like killing me. He is so concerned with the people who don't like the game. Who cares? Try and figure out the people who might be interested
Yeah.
and give them something else to buy into, not just.
I don't mind smart changes, Keon, but here's the thing. Manfred is throwing a bunch of crap against the wall to see what will stick because he's looking forward and not looking at the now. And, he's seeing a sport that is probably going to die. And it could die off with the people who are watching it now and liking it. But fewer people are coming along. It's great that you're one of the younger ones that did, but you're in the minority. So there's a lot of fear that baseball is just sort of going to just deteriorate more and more and more, and then there goes the money. So that's what I don't mind smart changes, but I don't feel like a lot of these have been smart changes.
I agree with that. I think the changes have to be smart, but I think that a good place to start would be let's figure out what we're doing marketing wise. Let's figure out what we're doing from an aspect of delivering the game.
It's not even that, guys. It's not even that. We've gone away from the basics of baseball: sound fielding, sound hitting, sound base running, sound pitching, and this has been a demise over a long period of time. And as I was talking to Ralph on Friday, the game has changed because the more of an emphasis has been put on the home run ball rather than teaching the basics of the game of baseball. And if you teach the basics, when you get guys that can hit to any field at any time, the game is, then you have base runners. And guess what? If you try to steal second base or third base, guess what? Now you've got some excitement. You can go ahead and try to build in all of this BS of larger bases and say that's going to incite base stealing and all that kind of business, or you can teach the basics of the game again instead of trying to skew it toward what you think the community, the public wants, like the home run ball. It just boggles my mind. I can't tell you how many times I've seen a ball batter come up in a baseball game and the shift is on to his power field and he still hits the ball into that field instead of hitting to the opposite field.
And Flash Gordon says today's baseball has no bunting. Things like the suicide squeeze are long
Exactly.
gone.
See, all of the excitement of the game has been coached out of the game because some moron said you need to hit more home runs.
And I'll tell you, and maybe you'll agree with me, Randy, maybe not. I don't know. But the travel team stuff is, to me, where a lot of this stuff is dying. I mean, if I'm Major League Baseball, I go to high schools. I try to get equipment to high schools. I try to get equipment to schools in inner cities in particular where the sport just doesn't
100%,
even exist.
100%.
Because it only takes one really exciting guy.
Yep.
I mean, Steph Curry started shooting threes at a level none of us had ever seen. And when I go see kids playing basketball on basketball courts when I drive around, they all shoot threes now.
Yep. You're absolutely right.
You just got to get people who play the game in the exciting way that can be played. And that comes from
access
and funding the players of the future. That's how you do it. You can try and tweak the rules and all that other stuff, and good luck with it. But I don't think that's going to help you save this game.
Last Optimist says, I blame Babe Ruth for killing small ball. Finisher says, Keon is raging today because Carson Wentz got released.
Well, no, I'm not raging. That made me feel good. I was happy about that.
That was a good rage.
That was a very good day.
King Kitten says, Jeffrey, you're back. Where have you been? Well, primarily your mom's house.
Golly, man.
He says, where have I been? He says, Jeffrey is risen. Hallelujah. Well, after that last comment, I don't know if you're going to hallelujah anymore. Fish Tank says, I think over time, we'll come to like the pitch clock. However, it's not making anyone who is on the fence all of a sudden going to get interested in the sport. Manfred made a decision for a bunch of people who don't, or won't watch the game no matter what. Good point, Fish Tank. Blissful Hayes says, who drinks more, Manfred or Steve Keim?
Yes.
I think Manfred probably more consistently. Steve Keim in benders. I think that is probably the correct answer. I could be wrong. Quiet Cannon says, would fans be happy if baseball season started in April and ended in November, but space the games out a little more and they only have 150 games for the season?
Baseball fans would be happy if you just let the game be and quit trying to market the game to people who complain about the game and rather market it to those who like the game. And just like Keon says, and try to grow the game by putting it in front of young people and teaching them the basics of the game.
I think, Randy, you should do a video. You put some eye makeup on, put a blanket over your head and go, leave baseball alone. How's that for a callback on the internet? Go Hawk says contraction is the solution for actual fans. Remove interleague play and remove teams that can't sustain the following. Okay, that's interesting, Go Hawks. He says talent level on each remaining team rises and the excitement then naturally rises as well. All right, that's not bad. Still, tons of texts. Stop sending them about this subject. I'll read the rest of these when we come back. But after that, by God, we're talking some NFL football. Don't test me. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic.
A good work partner knows what you need before you need it. That's how it feels when you work with Cintas. Your dedicated Cintas service reps get to know your business and have the industry knowledge that can help you prepare for what's ahead. They'll deliver your team's workwear freshly laundered. Make sure your first aid and safety supplies, mats, mops, and towels are stocked when you need them. And your fire extinguishers are inspected and in working order. Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
When a cold comes on strong, knock it out with Vicks DayQuil Severe for max strength daytime relief. Just one dose of Vicks DayQuil Severe starts to relieve 9 of your worst cold and flu symptoms to help take you from 9 to none. Power through your day with Vicks DayQuil Severe, the daytime non-drowsy, coughing, aching, fever, sore throat, 9 to none medicine. Use as directed.
For the latest from the world of golf, tune in every Saturday morning from 6 to 8 for the Golf Shop Radio Show, presented by PlayGolfMyrtleBeach.com, the golf capital of the world. Hosts Mark Greenhelch and Matt Blanchard talk golf from tee to green and everything in between. If you like golf, you're going to love Golf Shop Radio. Before you tee up, drop on in. Welcome to the Golf Shop here on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
One trip down Scottsdale Road and it's obvious snowbird season is here. You know what else is on Scottsdale Road? The absolute best restaurant to take your out-of-town friends and family to. Kasai Japanese Steakhouse. No one does it better than Kasai, where talented Teppan chefs create the food, fire, and fun of teppanyaki. Kasai Japanese Steakhouse is dinnertainment at its best, where a delicious 7-course meal is prepared right at your table with flair. It's the perfect choice for any occasion. Choose from over 50 different items and combinations of teppanyaki. Looking for a great dining without the show? Kasai offers an awesome selection of Asian-inspired dishes and tasty sushi. Happy hour deals daily until 6 p.m. And enjoy outdoor dining on our heated patio. So whether here on a golfing trip, for spring training, or just to enjoy our Arizona sunshine, don't just take your guests to dinner. Take them to Kasai Japanese Steakhouse for dinnertainment. Visit KasaiScottsdale.com. That's KASAI Scottsdale.com or call 480-607-1114.
Seems like everything is going electric these days. Electric cars, electric trucks. But what you save on gas, you pay for with that electric bill. With all these things being plugged into your house, wouldn't it be nice to save up to 85% on your monthly electric bill? Well, you can do that with zero down and no payments for 12 months. Call Harmon Solar. Harmon Solar is a family-owned, woman-owned local company that uses top-of-the-line equipment. Call Harmon Solar, 800-281-3189. That's 800-281-3189. Or go to harmonsolar.com.
KQFN Tempe, also transmitting on K25CD Phoenix at 99.3 FM and K240 Robert Hills at 95.9 FM.
It's time for the third
hour. Quiet, people, settle down because it's time. Time for what?
Showtime.
When does it start?
Right now. 3, 2, 1.
Let's get on with the show. Let's do it.
All right, everybody, it's 5 o'clock here on the Daily Blender. I'm your good friend, your radio pal, Jeffrey O'Brien, alongside Randy White. Got Keon Rose in the control room, and you guys are on the Fanatic text line, 888-368-1580. And I have found the line here, so if you text about baseball from this point forward, I ain't reading it, okay? As I said in the last hour, don't test me. And Blissful Hayes sent me a text. I'll test you. What's 9 times 7? It's you with a 2-minute penalty, Blissful Hayes. I told you, don't test me. So there, 63. 888-368-1580. No more. I'm going to read these texts and then no more. Flash Gordon says, I have a major league player as a customer, and he says hitting home runs get you paid. Yeah, but if the game changes, playing smart and hitting line drives and getting on base should also get you paid, right, Randy?
Yes, 100%. And that, I think that underscores what I said. There's been a real focus on hitting the long ball instead of playing the game the way it was originally intended. Hitting in gap, getting base runners on, a timely home run. Yes, that can be very exciting. But if you have one guy, next guy, now it's a home run derby. Who the hell cares?
And some guys can hit the home run and hit it consistently. You know, a guy like Aaron Judge, I mean, just knocks the cover off the ball. But then you got another guy, his teammate, Giancarlo Stanton. He can hit homers, but he strikes out so much to do it. He gets paid on the numbers, but is he actually effective as a player?
Right. Yeah, that's a good point. Big George says, Keon's right. These changes Rob Manfred is making is not to appease current baseball fans, but potential fans. Unfortunately, it is at the expense of current baseball fans. Just wait until the pitch clock or hit clock costs a real game, like what happened to the Atlanta Beavers the other day. There will be hell raised. The pitch clock is stupid. Fire Rob Manfred. He stinks. Okay. Yeah.
Atlanta
but here's the
Beavers?
thing, it's a rule. It will cause somebody in Major League Baseball a game, and it's not going to change anything.
Did he say the Atlanta Beavers?
Yeah, that is correct. The Atlanta Beavers.
It was the Atlanta Braves.
I think it was the Braves, or whatever. Are the Guardians now?
Did an E and an A get swapped? No, the Braves are still the Braves. The Guardians are the former Indians. Yeah.
I got it. Against the Spread says kids don't like baseball because of two reasons. Number one, turning it into a rich kid sport has no exposure in the inner city. Well, Keon did address that earlier. And number two, kids don't go out to the park anymore and play baseball with their friends because they're all playing Xbox, eating Hot Pockets, and staring at their phones, and watching the IQ destroyer called TikTok.
And all of those things are true. There is merit to that. But I drive around, my neighborhood. I see kids out there playing basketball and football. So there's something that they're missing that the kids don't choose baseball when they do actually go outside.
Last Optimist says, glad to hear you back, Jeffrey. Knew you'd get your next contract before Lamar Jackson would. Was that some of the theories that I was sitting out a contract extension?
First I heard of it, pal.
I hadn't heard of that either.
Lamar can learn a few things from me. I'm just saying. Quiet Cannon says, Jeffrey, welcome back, by the way. Could you possibly slipped away for extra training and damage control? After all, you deal with the fourth dimension on a daily basis. Just saying. I could have. First and 15 says, it's not about some moron saying you got to hit more home runs. It's the best way they figured out how to compete against all these nasty ass pitchers. It's math. And you should be able to align your defense any way you want. By the way, I got ejected from Talking Stick because I urinated in the parking lot and they saw me do it.
That's more information than I ever wanted to know, but
I read. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That other text was from like February 21st.
I mean, I'm still surprised you texted it.
Let me just tell you, though, this is a very funny thing from February 21st, 1st and 15.
Yeah.
He actually was texting this thing in at night. At 9:15, he says, that was just a joke from South Park. Arizona is number 7. Are they a contender? And he's just sort of jibber jabbers on. And then he comes on there at 9:21. Idiocy at its best. In 9:23. Difference is I'm drunk and you're a moron. That's the only difference. And then he says he got ejected. I don't know what the hell that was about, 1st and 15, but I enjoyed it.
Thank you.
Jagdog says, Jeffrey, you've never been on fire before? How did you not set yourself on fire for having to watch soccer? Because there was no lighters. There was no anything nearby. I thought about jumping out the window. It was 20 degrees out. I figured if I just did that, I would probably be dead soon. And that might have been enough. But, it's my mom's window. And if I did that, she'd kill me. Let's see. Jeffrey, welcome back, says Good Cat. Would you be willing to trade our draft spot just to make Justin Fields a Colt? You know, as long as the Colts only had to give away that one pick, maybe I would. But Keon has talked me out of it but here's the thing, we don't have a choice. If we can't trade up and get that guy that we want, and the Colts, can't do that, I'm saying that the Bears will take that guy, we may as well make a move for Justin Fields, because if the Bears go get a quarterback, they're not going to need Justin Fields. Guess who's going to need Justin Fields? The Colts. I mean, is that, or am I being dumb about this?
No, that I think that there's a logic to it. If obviously they go and try and replace Justin Fields at quarterback, because you got to remember this coach and general manager did not draft him. I think they did a good job last year in his development, but they didn't draft him. They're not connected to him. If they want to go out and they see Bryce Young, CJ Stroud, Will Levis, and they think those guys are better for them, then they might go that route. And then, Justin Fields will be on the market. And then a team like the Colts, who I think would like to not have to start from scratch. It's the reason why they haven't been trying to draft a quarterback all these years. If you give them an option for a guy that has something of an NFL foundation under him already, but he's young, so he always has the upside of a young quarterback that they can maybe build through, that might be of interest to the Colts. Yeah.
Boogie says, what are the Colts going to have to give up to trade for Bryce Young? It's a good question. If you're looking for your franchise quarterback, might be a first this year and next year. I don't know. I mean, how much do you think that the Colts should give the Bears to move up for Bryce Young, Keon?
I think that, I think a couple of firsts is probably in there, and then you might have to toss in a second too. I think any more than that, and you're going to have to let the Bears convince you that other people are outbidding you for that. Because
how about just this year's first and a box of the good stuff from Irsay?
There you go. Now we're talking.
Street value.
It depends on whether or not the Bears ownership is interested in said box.
Just saying.
Yeah.
Blissful Hayes says the urinator was text of the day right there. Screaming Eagle says, hi, Fanatic. Good to hear your voice, Jeffrey. Are you excited about the new Colts head coach? I don't know. Should I be? I don't know. Should I be?
I mean, there's just, and anytime you get a guy that's a first-time head coach, there's just not enough information to say other than you look around the league, who likes the guy. Okay, teams think that he is a talented coach, but
you mean funny as you see Eric Bieniemy sitting there in a like a TV interview, and they're talking to him, and all of a sudden his phone just goes bling, 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 and he picks up his phone. And he's like, "God damn it, T-Mobile! Oh my God, look at all these missed calls! I could have been coach of so many teams."
If he has T-Mobile, that is not impossible.
Wow,
I have T-Mobile, and oh my God,
I had Verizon forever. And then I thought, well, I'm going to save some money. I'm going to change over to T-Mobile. I was like, oh, this is great. No, it's not. I could not get it down. I drove quite a bit. I'm not going to tell you where or how. I drove through some very scary places that were going through this winter storm that passed through, and my windshield wiper wasn't shooting out the stuff. So I had to pull over and clean my windshield every now and then. And it was dangerous and snowy and icy. And I didn't have a damn signal if anything bad had happened. And I was just like, this was a mistake.
That's why they call it T-Maybe.
Never had a problem with Verizon.
T-Maybe. The reason why I have T-Mobile is every year I get MLB extra innings for free. That is what else am I sticking there for?
Just don't travel. Stay in the city.
Stay in large cities. Yeah.
At least you will not end up stranded in the bottom of a cliff.
I lived in Chattanooga, Tennessee. Do you know how many places in Chattanooga I suddenly have no signal with T-Mobile? If I got into a fender bender, I could just be in the wilderness as far as everyone else I knew is concerned. Just there's no way to communicate.
There'd be no calling for help. Anyways, no, I did not go see a Portland Timbers game, George. No, thank you. Niners 1680 says the Colts can have Trey Lance. Pass. Lung Butter says, sadly, baseball is no longer America's pastime. It's become the pastime and a way towards opportunity for players from the Caribbean and other countries. I didn't understand that. 2-minute penalty because I told you I wasn't going to talk any more baseball after that. Radio Ron just texts in, rehab's a bitch, huh? Yeah, I know. Worse that they made me drive there. Quiet Cannon says Justin Fields has bad numbers in cold weather. How's the weather in Indianapolis? Well, inside the Dome Stadium, perfect.
And like, there's a lot of quarterbacks in the league that have bad numbers in cold weather. So does Jared Goff, but he won a bunch of games last year. Jimmy Garoppolo has bad numbers in cold weather. He wins a bunch of games. All I'm saying is that's not the only stat that you can really use to go, oh yeah, I'm not going to trade for a guy that might help me win at least all of our home games because we don't even play outside.
Yeah, we have a nice stadium. Thank you. Lucas Oil Field. It's where they have the combine. Last Optimist says, I read a story that Bezos was prohibited from buying the Washington football team by Snyder. So is the Washington football team no longer up for sale? Now, I think he doesn't want it to be Bezos, but if it's going to be Bezos, he's going to pay through the nose for it.
I think he specifically wants Jeff Bezos to jump through hoops. And you also got to understand about Daniel Snyder. Daniel Snyder is the most petty human that actually exists. The amount of reporters and columnists that he sued over the years because they said a bad thing about him once is countless. It's at least a dozen people. It's insane how many people he's gone after. And Jeff Bezos owns the Washington Post, and the Washington Post covers his team. And sometimes they say mean things about the team and him. And that's why he doesn't want Jeff Bezos to have it without spending at least $7 billion.
Yeah, and if one of the rules is you're not allowed to have said anything bad about Dan Snyder, well, there's no, you just shut down the team. Just close the doors and send everybody home because it's over. Let's see. First and 15 says, that was the second time in a week that I drank too much whiskey and decided to start texting Fanatic with no memory of it happening at all. I've admitted I have a problem. I guess that's the first step from what I've heard. Yeah, but I'm pretty sure there's a second step.
Yeah. You want to take the second one there? I mean,
pretty sure there's a second step. If we could just remember what the hell it is.
Yeah. Boogie says, forever the Colts have it all figured out. What? Even if it's this first-year head coach is horrible, they can always fire him halfway through the season and bring Jeff Saturday back to finish what he started. In a couple of years, Saturday will then have as much experience being an interim head coach that the Colts will just hire him full time. That's a lot of Detroit Lions thinking going on there, Boogie. So I understand where that's coming from. Against the spread says the Bears aren't trading Fields. Anyone that says that needs a drug intervention. He's going into his third year and has massive upside potential. I agree with you against the spread. Bryce Young is more fragile than Glass Joe and is beat up more often than Tua. Stroud is the best quarterback in the draft anyway. Who else had success against Georgia defense? See, there when I was coughing would have been a great place for someone else to talk.
Well, yeah, no, Bryce Young is I don't know where you're getting that. Bryce Young is small. Is he beat up more often than Tua? Tua's injury history is at this point insanely concerning. I don't think I've ever seen Bryce Young get injured in the way I've seen Tua get injured. I think Tua can overcome it, but
he's going to overcome it because he's taking judo lessons to learn how to fall.
Judo classes.
Yeah,
but I do think that with a guy like Bryce, the frame is concerning. But I'm not going to sit here and act like he gets injured at the same rate that I've seen Garoppolo or Tua get injured. I just don't have anything that suggests that.
Speaking of injuries, the NFL health and safety officials, they're like, hey, we saw a over 50% reduction in concussions during practice and preseason where they were wearing them goofy looking Guardian cap helmets. And so they're like, yeah, we probably need to expand our use of those things. And I think it's a good idea. And in fact, I'm going to say this. Everybody's like, well, if it's so good for those periods of time, why not just wear them in the games? And how do you put a logo on that? Well, that's a very easy thing. You do is you get like, you remember your wife will put on some sexy nylon stockings. You know what I'm saying? And all of a sudden her legs turn a completely different color. You follow me here?
Yes.
Well, you get like a nylon thing that goes down over the weird, chunky Lego looking helmet.
Yes.
And then you just You paint that very thin nylon with the color and the logo, and it'll look like a big goofy helmet, but at least you'll still get your logo on there.
Yeah, I believe that would probably work. Yeah.
I'm just saying, I think if these are good enough for practice, if they're good enough for preseason, they're good enough for a real damn game.
Well, they didn't wear them in preseason games, did
Well,
they?
didn't they? I thought
No,
I thought
no,
they
I don't think so.
Form in practice.
Just
well,
practice.
maybe they're
Yeah,
thinking
just-
about
just
doing it
OTAs.
preseason.
Could be. That could be.
I know a lot of people don't like it. I know a lot of players, coaches maybe have had something to say about, but if you have already shown a over 50% reduction in concussions, put the damn things on and play them in a regular game. I mean, who's going to say that's a bad idea? As long as you have a nylon cover, so you get your logo on there, and you know what I'm saying?
Apparently, some coaches and players have a problem with them.
Some, but
Yeah.
you know what? Everybody's going to be mad about something. But if it helps protect people, 50% less concussions, well, you know who should be wearing that like in everyday life is Tua. You know, you should never see him out in public without it.
Or at least on a football field. I mean,
I mean all the damn time.
I don't think we've seen Tua get a concussion outside of football. So
You look like the great kazoo from remember Marvin,
I
Marvin
think-
the March.
which I don't know, by the way.
Where is the X29 Ford communicator?
That's what
Where
I
was the
mean.
giant kaboom?
Wes Welker had a bunch of concussion problems when he was in the league too, and his helmet was so tall by the end that he basically did look like the great kazoo.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was insane.
But who cares?
That's the
You know
thing.
what I'm
But
saying?
a lot of guys will sit there and go, "I understand player safety, but I look like an idiot wearing this."
Yeah, I don't care.
And
Don't care about how they feel
I
about
get
wearing
that.
the helmet. I'm sure the original people who had to wear helmets were like, I can't wear this giant heavy thing on my head.
I'm sure. I'm sure. But I think you got to take baby steps there. I mean,
Perhaps they slurred a bit more from all the concussions they had.
because that's what the NFL has done, where like if you came into the league with a certain helmet, then you're allowed to play with that, you know, for as long as you can maintain the damn thing. And then when it's time for you to change a helmet, guess what? You know, we've got a new variety of helmets here for you. So I think they're trying to inch people along.
Yeah, but remember what happened with Antonio Brown now? That was one of the things with the Raiders. So he had his favorite helmet.
Yeah, they had the cutoff point where it was just like, okay, this helmet is no longer
All right.
grandfathered into the list of helmets you are
Plus
allowed to wear.
minus stupid people, you know, plus minus crazy or stupid people.
But I'm saying I don't think I hate the approach right now, where they're kind of just sort of slowly moving people to the better helmets.
Yeah, but here I also have a thing that I see in everyday life, whether it's radio, sports, or anything else. If you've decided it's a good idea, or if you've decided it works, why wait? There's zero reason to wait. And you'd think the NFLPA would be like, 50% less concussions? Hell yeah, let's do this. There should be no resistance to the idea. I mean, you're an idiot if you resist that idea.
Yes, but I don't think people act rationally like that. I think people look at stuff and they go, this is the helmet I've always had. I don't want to use another helmet. And sure, I understand that there's it's safer to use the new helmet, but I think sometimes you've got to understand that people don't.
I'm not
just
going to wear a
rationally make
seatbelt.
decisions.
There's always somebody.
Yeah. And so you try and you say, okay, here, it's coming down the pike. This is when we're going to start doing this. And if you don't start doing this by this point, guess what? Now you're in trouble. But prior to that, I mean, you can try and push everybody if you want to. I'm telling you, there's going to be a backlash to it.
Cardinal Art, I don't do a Rodney Dangerfield voice, but he says, well, what the hell is going on around here? He says, please pour me up a double shot of your finest whiskey, Randy. A little something for you, Cardinal Art. Sorry, I just don't do a Rodney Dangerfield voice. Blissful Hayes says, as a Bears fan, I hope Justin Fields learns to be a passing quarterback in the offseason. He's a great running back. Big George says, wow, we know the kind of kinky thing Jeffrey's into there, huh? Nylon stockings. How's that kinky? Is that kinky?
They're sold everywhere. Lots of women
your mom
wear
wears
them.
nylon stockings, and I don't even mean that as no, Randy, I didn't mean it like that. I just mean in general. There's nothing kinky about it. Matt Man says whatever study the NFL puts out is flawed because training camp practice and regular season practice is hardly any hitting. There's really nothing to prove that goofy cover pad thing does anything. Well, if you can show that there was already a 50% less amount of concussions during these times, it really is worth looking at.
People do get concussions in training camp and OTAs. There have been a reduction in the amount of practices where you're allowed to hit, but they still do have them. So yeah, it's not flawed stats.
I got a concussion just getting out of my car one time.
What?
Maybe I should wear one of those big, great kazoo hats.
Get you a Guardian helmet.
Now that I know this information, you should. Against the Spread says Kelso from the Bills wore an oversized helmet back in the day. If Thurman Thomas had that same helmet, he would have lost it before the Super Bowl. Blissful Hayes says, can they manufacture a helmet for Kyler to make him like 6'4"? Big kid and play looking helmet.
Well, I don't know if you remember the brief trend that we had that Brian Robinson started with the supersized hats. But
supersized helmets.
There you go.
It'll make him taller, but it's not going to help his play, Blissful Hayes. All right, got to take a break. We come back. More NFL stuff. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic.
This is Brent Musburger's action update on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic. The best way to start betting smarter is to sign up for a free VSiN subscription at vsin.com/subscribe. That's vsin.com/subscribe.
Looking at the future bets for the majors in the upcoming golf season, starting in April at Augusta National with the Masters, Jon Rahm is the favorite to win the green jacket at plus 750. Rory McIlroy also plus 750. He's never won at the Masters before. Scotty Scheffler, the defending champ, plus 1,300. PGA Championship, Rory is the favorite at plus 850. Jon Rahm plus 950. Scotty Scheffler plus 1,300. The U.S. Open, once again, Jon Rahm, the favorite to capture that major championship at plus 950. Rory McIlroy plus 1,100 and Scotty Scheffler plus 1,300. I'm Tony Desiri with your VSiN action update on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
Are you a planner? Do you like to plan ahead? Then, of course, you already have a plan to call Harman Solar, right? Bruce Jacobs here. It should be at the top of your list to get solar now and enjoy huge savings next summer. Up to 85% on your monthly bill with zero down and no payments for 12 months. Then you can plan what to do with all that extra money. Harman Solar is a family-owned, women-owned, local company that uses top-of-the-line equipment. Call Harman Solar 800-281-3189 or go to harmansolar.com.
If you are an IT professional looking for an opportunity with great benefits, the freedom to creatively solve problems in a career with great growth potential and a team environment, look no further than Affinity Technology. Serving the Valley since 1992, Affinity Technology is looking for a level 1 tech to develop and deliver excellent solutions and outstanding customer service. Visit atechaz.com/jobs and get started with your future today. That's atechaz.com/jobs.
The Renaissance Festival is back! Huzzah!
Weekends now through April 2nd.
Great shopping, a giant crafts market. Your favorite shows.
Be ready to have a great time and don't be afraid to participate.
Just night. Silly fun for the entire family.
Happiness reigns at the Renaissance Festival.
Lots of new shows. Non-stop feasting. Leave your cares behind. It's fun and affordable.
You will adore the Renaissance Festival.
The Renaissance Festival is back. Huzzah! Weekends now through April 2nd. Discount tickets available at Dashes at Food City or online at arizona.redfestinfo.com. Presented by Delta Airlines. Dashes, Food City, Pepsi, Budweiser, and Dennis.
Kids need to read. That's right. Get free admission to the Renaissance Festival when you bring 2 new books to donate to Kids Need to Read. See you this weekend. Huzzah!
GCU men's basketball is back on the Fanatic. Listen along with Lopes insider Paul Coro and the voice of the Lopes, Michael Potter, for every moment of exciting Lopes action.
Wednesday night, the Lopes are on the road to take on the Thunderbirds of Southern Utah. Tip time at 7 p.m.
Listen all season long as the Lopes make their way through the WAC and try to punch their ticket into the madness of March. It's GCU Lopes basketball, only on 1580 and 99.3. The Fanatic.
Today's Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic. Extra Cheese is on the text line, says, hey, hello. It's been a while since I've caught the show due to my work schedule changing, but hey, still sounds great. Thank you, Extra Cheese. We appreciate that. 888-368-1580. Big George says, I've been hearing that Infinity Technology help wanted commercial probably for like 5 years. Have they found nobody yet there? Think about this audience, George. Think about this audience. You know what I'm saying? Moving on, 888-368-1580. So we were talking about the Guardian caps being suggested by the NFL, but there's other things being suggested by the NFL right now. The competition committee has begun to explore the quarterback push play. Why is it when something starts to work, the NFL takes it away? Back in, what was it, 2006, I think. Was it 2006? I think it was 2006 that they decided, hey, you can't pull a guy, but you can push a guy. And so now, the people have figured out, that's a good way to help the quarterback sneak become very effective. The Eagles did it a bunch of times during the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And even Sean Payton, new Broncos head coach, said, well, if you don't change the rule, I'm going to do this like all the damn time. And, why wouldn't you? Why would
so do it?
Why would you want to make it a violation? Why would you want to change this?
It's
I
only
feel your pain, guys. Go ahead.
It's going to help you pick up 3-4 yards. It's not going to make. You can't do it every play and win a football game. But what I like about it is it makes it so that 4th and 1 coaches punt less on 4th and 1.
Yeah,
and that's more fun. I like that.
So let me just say this. For Randy's benefit, I think you should be allowed to push the quarterback, but in the case of the Cardinals, the center should be able to turn, grab the quarterback by the arm and leg, and toss him over the line of scrimmage.
Why not?
I'm just saying, I don't think that quarterback push play is going to work for Kyler Murray.
I mean, I don't see why wouldn't it? You get as low as you can.
Oh, this little guy is going to get scrunched up like an accordion.
I don't know. I think Kyler's a pretty solidly built dude. I mean, because that's the thing with Jalen Hurts that makes it work for him, where it doesn't work even at the same level for a lot of other people. Is he squats like 300. He's just an insanely like.
I see the wheels turning.
And I'm just saying, Kyler, you say he looks like a Shetland pony. I'm just.
And Kyler likes big women. That's all I'm going to say about that.
I don't understand what you mean by that. All I'm saying is the guy. If you get low,
ain't training for the games. All I'm telling you.
If you get low and you've got lower body strength, it should work for you. I don't see why Kyler's height has anything to do with that.
The little guy is going to get scrunched. That's all I'm saying. So that's something that they're talking about doing. Is now that they're looking at it. I please leave it alone. Please, there's no reason. There's no reason to take that away.
I feel your pain.
In 2006, they said, hey, you can push a guy. You just don't pull a guy. That's all. That's all there was. There's no reason to worry about it. Leave it alone. And now, though, the NFL, looking at other rules, they're looking at changing the roughing the passer rules.
Changing it?
Yeah. No, I'm sorry. They've been asked to change it, and they're not going to. Sorry, I read that wrong.
Oh, I got my hopes.
Well,
up
what
there.
it is because there were some bad calls, and like, well, that wasn't roughing the passer. Oh, that was lame. And they were wanting to change the rules, to it's like, hey, it needs to be reviewable. So if you watch it at speed, sometimes it looks like, oh my God, the quarterback has been murdered. But then if you roll it back and you watch the replay. That wasn't nothing, or that wasn't a face mask, or that wasn't a this. It should be a reviewable thing. And but then the NFL says they went back and looked at 80 roughing the passer plays, and they only found 3 that were questionable. That seems very low. I think we've seen more than a few times where a defensive player, was accused of roughing the passer, and all he did was like glare at the guy. There wasn't anything there.
He looked at him with the stink eye.
Yeah, I mean, I would love for the league to put out those same 80 and let us decide if it's only 3, because that sounds insane.
I feel like that if it's a roughing the passer penalty, which carries a pretty good a penalty, that should be reviewable. You know what I'm saying? They should be looking at that more closely, because in real time speed, you're like, holy crap. I understand. Or if your perspective is different, you're standing in the wrong place as an official, you throw the flag roughing the passer. It should be immediately looked at by New York, and the following play should be stopped. You know what I'm saying? This is not something that should just be left alone. It is a problem.
It's 15 yards on an automatic first down. You can't tell me that doesn't swing games, even if there's only one in the game.
The NFL is going to, of course, say, well, there are only 3 questionable calls in their opinion. But I guarantee you there's going to be a lot more in players' opinions and coaches' opinions. But the NFL on that, they want to protect the quarterback at all costs, even if that includes violating their own rules. They'd rather err on the side of Tom Brady not getting hurt than be correct in the call on the game. So if there's a roughing the passer, they're like, yeah, he's right. No matter what, they're going to agree with that because they wanted to keep old man Tom Brady up for as long as they could and whoever else might be next.
Yeah.
So that's why I
Allen
think they are
and Mahomes
resistant.
and all these new guys. And I'm just saying, I agree with you. If you replay it, then you still get to err on that side of caution while being able to undo it in the event that you're wrong.
Mr. Pringle says, Blender is insane. Yes. That's not news to anybody who exists.
Have you heard the show?
Insane in the membrane. Against the Spread says, there's only one supersized helmet currently on the market. It's called the Trojan Magnum. Thanks. Blissful Hayes says, Jeffrey O'Brien calling us Nimrods. I represent that statement. See, I'm just saying, Blissful Hayes. Big George says, I agree, Jeffrey. I think the only quarterback you could throw over the line of scrimmage would be Kyler Murray.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not a good passer, so why not chuck him over? Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Kyler's a good passer. What are you talking about, man?
Quiet Cannon says it'd be called the Kyler Murray rule. A couple of linemen just pick up Kyler Murray and maybe they could carry him. Guys running with Kyler Murray under his arm. I love that idea.
As long as we get a touchdown, I really don't care.
Oh, you know what I need? For some reason, your word touchdown just made me think of all these winter storms that we've been having.
Yeah.
And I just heard a rumor that we have more winter storms coming into Arizona. Randy, can you give us a weather report and let's take a look at what's happening in the great state of Arizona? This has been some crazy weather.
I know you've been gone for a while, Jeff. Go. Let me do this just for you in honor of your getting back to the valley. From the 1580 to Fanatic Harman Solar Weather Center, Chief Meteorologist Randy White, 63 degrees, beautiful skies currently around the state. But Wednesday, we've got some more moisture moving into to the region. 60 for the high on Wednesday, down to the 30s, mid to upper 30s. Remember, gang, it gets cold in the outlying valley areas, so cover your succulents. We're looking at mid 60s. 60s, and then a high 60, maybe 68 on Saturday. Again, 63 degrees under beautiful skies from the 1580 to Fanatic Harman Solar Weather Center. Chief Meteorologist Randy White, back to you, Jeff. Go.
Thank you, Randy. All right. So is Derek Carr insane? If the blender is insane, isn't Derek Carr insane? Word on the street is he wants $35 million a year. Is Derek Carr worth $35 million a year?
See, I don't think that this is wrong. I don't think this is bad. I mean, you consider what his record is. You consider what his stats are. The guy's a 9-year veteran, and guys out there are, one of them, Danny Dimes, is asking for $45 million a year. As Dak Prescott's getting $40 million a year. Why not $35 million a year? And why are we laughing at it? I think that's good for him.
And to put it into perspective, $35 million a year is what Kirk Cousins makes.
I'm sorry. Why was that out loud? I'm sorry.
I'm just saying it's. I mean, comparable guys here. I don't think $35 million a year is crazy.
If you're looking for a mediocre quarterback who's not going to get you into the playoffs, but he's going to win some games, maybe more than he loses, Derek Carr would fit the bill. Who do you think? Like the Panthers maybe could get them some Derek Carr? Who else should be thinking about Derek Carr?
The entire NFC South, for starters. The Jets.
Yeah. No, the Jets are a prime candidate.
To me, the Jets are the best candidate because they were winning games with Mike White as quarterback before he died. And you put Derek Carr in there. That's a better offense with Derek than with Mike White.
And that's a sad statement right there, isn't it?
I don't know if it is. I don't think Derek
You're a
Carr's,
Jets fan. That just
I don't think Derek Carr's a bad quarterback. You were winning games with a backup. Derek Carr is a starter. That is, to me, I think that's pretty clear. Derek Carr is a starter, and he's been on a team, on a franchise that hasn't been consistent, hasn't been consistently run, and just when it seemed like maybe things were getting together, unfortunately, the coach went ahead and then showed himself to be an awful human being. So here we are. But I think that Derek Carr can be a starter in this league, and he just needs to find a situation where he doesn't need to be the reason you win, because he's not going to hurt you.
Well, Derek Carr, it will never see the promised land. Mostly because the tattoos, you just can't, because on his eyelids, I'm thinking tattoos, and makeup on. No, he's never going to get you a Super Bowl, man. He's not a Super Bowl guy, but I guess if you're okay being a mediocre team, then he's your man.
Well, the Broncos won a Super Bowl with the worst version of Peyton Manning. So you can
come on, don't even compare that. Don't even
go look at those numbers. Derek Carr's numbers this year.
It's not about numbers. The moment that they took Brock Osweiler out, they put Peyton Manning in, he managed the game. Derek Carr is not a brilliant game manager. Derek Carr is about a half an IQ point and an arm.
All I'm saying is
don't even compare Peyton Manning at his worst to Derek Carr at his best.
I don't see why not. I'll compare Derek Carr to somebody else. There's a dude named Jeff Hofstetler with the Super Bowl. You can go to the Super Bowl with dudes that are not the greatest of all time if the team is great. That's all I'm trying to say.
Derek Carr will never see the promised land.
He may not. However, if
steak dinner at a nice place, bet, Keon.
Well, no, because the odds are in your favor. The Super Bowl.
I'm right.
Super Bowls are harder to win. I don't think it's a guarantee that you're right, but I'm not gonna bet where I have the disadvantage, which is that I have to bet on a guy to win a Super Bowl.
Anakin. I have the high ground.
Dan Marino doesn't have any. Like you know what I'm saying? Like, great quarterbacks don't win Super Bowls, so I'm not gonna sit here and try and pick who can and can't go to the promised land in a team sport. All I'm saying is, if you got a great defense and you've got offensive weapons, if you have a guy who can manage, and Derek can do that, you give yourself a shot.
I guarantee you, Derek Carr and the Jets together will never see the promised land.
Well, okay, let him be a Jet.
And that means
first.
just getting to the Super Bowl. I didn't mean winning it. I mean just getting
there.
Yep. Nice steak dinner.
Because
and listen, you don't ever have to give me a steak dinner. I guess until he retires, until Derek Carr retires. Forget about the Jets. I'll say this about Derek Carr. He will never see the promised land. Nice steak dinner.
No, because I could say that about most quarterbacks and I'd be right. That's not,
by the way,
it's not a good bet at all.
Is going to the NFL Hall of Fame.
Correct. The version of Peyton Manning I'm talking to is not the version that's going to the Hall of Fame. We're talking about mostly Indy in the first couple of years in Denver.
And he was not inducted as a Denver Bronco, Blissful Hayes. No, he wasn't.
He absolutely wasn't.
Wally the Bear says Trent Dilfer.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm not saying there's not some weird outliers who show up in the game. You're like, how the hell they get here? But Derek Carr is not that guy.
But they're not weird outliers. When you look, because it's a team sport. I think when you keep saying stuff like that, like you're forgetting the team aspect of football. Trent Dilfer is not an outlier because he just had some magical great year. That year, he had the same numbers he always has. The 2000 Ravens defense is one of the greatest defense of all time. It might just be right after the 85 Bears is one of the greatest defenses of all time. So if you end up on a defense that good, or with receivers that are amazing, that carry you, even quarterbacks who have no business being quote unquote Super Bowl champions can be Super Bowl champions.
We have a new texter here on the text line. New texter. Yes,
sorry.
It's very sad.
New texter.
I guess
Clay
we're all,
Nigma.
all a little out of work here.
Clay Nigma, he says, is their handle. Says, when traveling through cold tundra-like land, pour a pint of isopropyl alcohol into your washer fluid reservoir. This will eliminate the freezing of the fluid or the cracking of the windshield. Follow me for more tips on TikTok. All right, Clay Nigma, nice to meet you. And that was great advice a week ago. But I don't know. I think that with my windshield wiper pump or squirter thing, something's messed up there. I don't think the fluid was frozen. But that is always good advice. Make sure you have the non-freezable windshield wiper fluid if you're going into the snowy areas like up north here in Arizona.
And no, don't drink the isopropyl alcohol. That's not good for you.
You are not my mom, and you need to just stay out of my business, Randy.
Okay.
I just got back from rehab, and I'm not taking it anymore. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic.
Businesses don't run on automation or algorithms alone. What powers businesses are your people and the people they serve. At Cintas, your dedicated service reps understand what you need to help you keep your employees feeling safe, comfortable, and performing their best. So your business can too. For workwear, essential cleaning products, first aid and safety supplies, and fire protection services, visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready.
And get ready for the workday.
O'Reilly. Protect your engine against sludge and wear with a synthetic oil change. O'Reilly Auto Parts has 5 parts of Mobil 1 full synthetic motor oil for $35.95. Plus, get 2 times O Rewards points. Our professional parts people can recommend the supplies you need, including a filter, funnel, shop towels, drain fans, and more. Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts or visit O'ReillyAuto.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Remember when you could go to the doctor and actually leave feeling better? Hi, this is Dr. Stephen Katz. The problem with our healthcare system is the focus on the system and not on your healthcare. At the Naturopathic Physicians Group in Scottsdale, our doctors are experts in full spectrum healthcare using a natural approach. Patients come in for a variety of issues, including joint pain, chronic conditions, and issues specific to men and women's health. We help people find relief when other doctors have failed. Our naturopathic doctors can restore your pain-free life using cutting-edge regenerative treatments. We can also help restore balance to your immune, digestive, and hormonal systems. Addressing your cause can also improve both mental and emotional stability. If traditional medicines aren't working for you, don't you think it's time to start feeling like yourself again? Call us. We're the Naturopathic Physicians Group in Scottsdale, Arizona at 480-451-6161. That's 480-451-6161 or go to naturopathicgroup.com.
This is Joan, enjoying some me time up on the rim. This is Simon and his friends paddling the Salt River. And this is Brad. Brad is, well, no one knows where Brad is. What they all have in common is that they went to azmbdnow.gov to quickly and easily renew their registration or 30 other services. So go to azmbdnow.gov and get more time to enjoy all the things you love.
Sponsored by ADOT in partnership with the Arizona Broadcasters Association and this station.
What do a 450-year-old author and a bottle of 4 times distilled vodka have in common? Let's compare Shakespeare, shall we? Shakespeare, the man, the epitome of playwriting, the OG of live theater, the standard by which all others are compared. Shakespeare, the vodka, an original Polish spirit crafted from a recipe 12 centuries old with an unwavering attention to smoothness and purity, the standard by which all others should be compared. Maybe they're not so different after all. Shakespeare Vodka is the Shakespeare of vodkas.
Download our free sports app and stay up with all the latest sports news, scores, highlights, and more. Or stream us live anywhere at 1580thefanatic.com. 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic, Arizona's home for sports.
The Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic. Show is going very, very quickly. I just want to let you know I'm going to take another couple of weeks off. This was a lot of work.
This will be my last show for a couple of weeks.
I'll send you a postcard. We'll be fine. All right, let's clean up the text line. We've got a big old wheel of sports on the way. Of course, Big Georgia sports history, too. Cards Chappie says, is Nimrod one of those maternal parts? Yes, you should probably Google that. Just saying. First and 15 says, in 20 years, there's only going to be flag football, guaranteed. Good thing we'll all be old and Biden-brained by that time. Oh, Lord. Heavy Metal Maniac says, it doesn't like who does not like a succulent. What? Heavy Metal Maniacs, he is now cut off from the bar. Kiss the Cook says, newsflash, this just in, maternals will now be referred to as the penalty box. Since aforementioned maternals is now unmentionable.
So Friday, you did not hear the show apparently.
No,
and,
no.
Pippi No Stockings. She had a story about maternals. There was a problem with the Rihanna grabbing her crotch on the Super Bowl halftime show.
Oh yeah, got all kinds of things there.
And so Pippi No Stockings simply pointed out she was being a good mom by grabbing her maternals and checking for dilation, that sort of thing.
Is that what you thought she was doing?
That's what Pippi No Stockings said.
Hey, we don't need no FCC violations. That's a good mom. Just say,
yeah,
that's 4 centimeters. No, we can finish the show.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I thought she was just freshly pregnant. Isn't she like newly pregnant?
I'm just trying to fill in the blanks for you on this maternals thing, because that's what happened on Friday.
Grabbing themselves in the maternals.
Of course, Ralph's head just went down in a praying position.
Well, I like that term.
Every time Pippi is on the text line, Ralph's head just goes down.
Because, if I get kicked, we have the Ginobili's, the Twig and Berries, that sort of thing. Mm-hmm. Now, if something happens to a woman, you say she got kicked in the maternals. We don't have to say in the roast beef or the vajay. Now we can say the maternals. It's much nicer.
In the roast beef.
I have never heard that.
I probably just made that up.
I don't think that's a thing. Can't say that that's a thing.
But it's a mental picture you'll never forget now.
Also, somebody Friday said that the maternals sounds like a Marvel movie, and
it does. The maternals.
Yeah. We need a whole maternals trailer.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Ham wallets. Wally the Bear says, "Hey, Rex Grossman." Thank you, Wally. Against the spread says, you can count on one hand the crappy quarterbacks that have won Super Bowls. It's an anomaly. Trent Dilfer, Mark Ripken, Jeff Hostetler, Brad Johnson, all of them will agree. Yeah, and that's probably more than should have. And
Joe Namath.
Because it's a team game. It's a team game. And I'm sure you can count from, if you go through the list of Super Bowl winners, you'll probably find more than just
an echo machine. I need an echo machine so I can mark my words.
Also, put some respect on Mark Ripken's name. He may have had an average career, but that one season, oh my God.
Oh, he didn't say Mark Rippon. He said Mark Ripken. That must be somebody else.
Who's
Boogie says,
quarterback Mark Ripken?
Great quarterbacks win the Super Bowl. History doesn't lie. You are correct. Blissful Hayes says, Mitch Trubisky to the Colts. Okay, Blissful Hayes. Quiet Cannon says, yeah, there's about 5 or 6 future Hall of Fame quarterbacks currently in the NFL. So, competition is at a different level now. Teams that get to the Super Bowl lately have had star quarterbacks. You need a star quarterback. Yeah, I agree. Big George says, Brad in that A-Dot commercial, better be careful. Sounds like he's sleeping next to the cocaine bear. Big George, will you stop paying so much damn attention to the commercials? Please.
Isn't that what we want our listeners to do?
Right. Boomer Sooner says, can I get a shot, please? Gracious. Of course. Clay Nigma says,
what kind of shot is he looking for?
I think a shot of whiskey. And Clay Nigma, now that that's the wrong button, Randy. Now that you've told me that you're Clay Nigma, you don't have to keep telling me you are anymore. It'll automatically be on the screen now.
Yeah.
But Clay Nigma says Mark Rippon or Jim Plunkett with the Raiders or Doug Williams with the Skins. Wally the Bear says, I'm done now. He was listing off all those people too.
Yeah,
Joe Flacco.
Just other quarterbacks that aren't Hall of Famers. I mean, damn
Joe Flacco, #elite.
Right.
You are done now, Wally. You're done.
Joe Gibbs won 3 Super Bowls with 3 different quarterbacks, none of whom are going to the Hall of Fame. You'd rather have a Hall of Famer. I get that. But everybody can't have one. So you get a guy that can help you and you build a team around him.
He'll never get you there. Kiss the Cook says, how about kicked in the curtains? I'll allow it. Cardinal Art says Adrian Wilson to Carolina as vice president of player personnel. Pour me up another one, Randy.
Oh, man.
There you go. There goes you didn't think he was going to get a job somewhere? Come on, man. It is time now, ladies and gentlemen, for On This Date in Big George's sports history. Back in the year 2015, Travis Kveppel, is that how you say his name?
Voppel.
Whatever. NASCAR Sprint Car Cup was stolen early in the day from a hotel parking lot, forcing him to withdraw from a race at Atlanta Motor Speedway. He should have never parked it in front of the Motel 6. The team didn't have a backup car in Atlanta, so they had to drop out. Back to me, Jeffrey. Vapple? Voppel. Okay, well, Travis Voppel, what are you doing leaving your car outside with the keys in it? I mean, that was just really, really dumb. Whatever happened to Voppel? Is he still racing?
No.
Of course not. You don't lose your car and get to keep racing.
I don't think it was his responsibility.
I don't think he personally drove it and parked it there and then forgot.
Here's Voppel doing that thing. He walks outside, he looks around, goes back in, comes back out, looks around again. Now, did you move the car? Don't play. Where's the car? Who's got the car? Where's the car? Are you punking me? Where's Ashton Kutcher? What the hell's going on here? I'm just assuming he talks that way. I could be wrong. Oh, well, what happened to Voppel? Was that he never raced again?
Well, no, that wasn't it. He was found later. He was racing under the influence of drugs, and he was suspended. And
so here's what really happened. He sold that NASCAR for drug money.
I don't think he was ever in charge of the car unless he was actually racing it. So
they're like, Voppel was supposed to have made a pit. Where'd he go?
Why did he leave the track to go make a pit stop?
Against the Spread says Mark Ripken is living proof that Joe Gibbs is the most underrated coach of all time. You got a better chance of seeing Bigfoot riding a unicorn down Central Avenue than Crybaby Carr going to a Super Bowl, let alone win it.
First off, his name is Mark Rippon. It's not Ripken. Maybe you're confusing him with Cal Ripken. No, he's not right. It's Mark
totally
Rippon.
Right.
Nope, you say that man's name correctly.
He's 100% right.
That man won a Super Bowl for my team. You'll say his name correctly.
I'll never say it right again.
It's Mark Rippon.
Not me.
It's Rippon.
Too bad. Ripken. Boogie says Big George wants to change his texture nickname to Panty Burp. That's not a bad it's not a bad texture nickname, but that's not going to go to you, Boogie, or Big George, or anybody. All right, can we spin the wheel and see what we talk about next? Let's do some random stuff here. Oh, geez, Randy, you should have spun that wheel just a little bit harder or a little bit softer. I don't think you're going to want to hear this story. So here's the deal. A center for the NHL's Seattle Kraken is trying to help a young fan get a life-saving bone marrow transplant. Yeah, she's a kindergartner named Zola, and she's been fighting a rare form of cancer called anaplastic large cell lymphoma. And she's also a huge fan of the new Seattle Kraken. So they're trying to find a match for her to get a transplant. So I know that's very conflicting for you because you have your past with the Kraken, but it's a good news story that they're trying to help this girl get what she needs to try to survive.
It is a good news story, but it's unfortunate it had to be with that team.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Randy, but a bone marrow. Here's the thing. You can donate bone marrow, and I don't think you have like lasting issues from it. But here's the thing. I hear that it hurts a lot.
Oh, it's painful as hell. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But it's not your own body. If you give somebody your bone marrow, does your own body like replenish that?
You're the doctor on the show. I don't know. These things. Yeah.
Screaming Eagle, I am curious about that because we should all be donating some bone marrow, you know?
Well,
you know where my brain is going right now about I don't want to donate some bone marrow tonight.
oh no!
I knew exactly what you were thinking, pal.
Oh no! But no, it seems like, at least according to the Goog, bone marrow does regenerate.
So there you go. Here's what you do: you get liquored up and you donate some bone marrow. I don't think you're being liquored up would affect it. No, I don't think your liquored upness would affect the bone marrow. Or just knock me the hell out and take my bone marrow, you know? And while you're at it, give me a colonoscopy and a prostate check.
And there you go.
Get it all done at one time.
It's called the trifecta.
Be happy to help. Spin the wheel, Randy. I predicted this, but I had no idea I would be this right. So the LIV has posted the ratings. Here's the ratings. The ratings for the LIV golf tournament, 26 metered markets that carried it on the CW, got a 0.2. A 0.2 in the ratings. On TV, that's like, wow. That is so bad.
Point 2.
That is a couple of people leaving their TV on accidentally. That's it. Point 2.
Wow.
This does not bode well for the future of the LIV.
Well, they're trying to create a team sport out of golf where nobody knows who any of these teams are. We have no connection to any of them. They don't matter geographically. So I don't understand what we're doing, what to make people like this thing, but they're trying really hard and it is not working.
Second round ratings of a tournament, 0.2, 26 markets. It's not, that is so small a number for 26 markets. This cracks me the hell up. I told you guys, and listen, maybe the LIV would have done better on another network, but it's the CW, man. It's the CW. Nobody knew it was there. Well, that's it, guys. We're going to take a 24-hour break and be back in your radios again at 3 p.m. The Daily Blender here on 1580 Fanatic. Good night.